Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Mythic Showdown. Here we are. We are going to know today. Again, this is going to be a round robin stage. Today, teams are truly electrifying. It's Ryuga Esports versus Team Untitled. I'm excited to know what will be the outcome, given the fact that Team Ryuga Esports they had a very good performance at the day number one. Coming into the day number three, as you guys already know, this is going to be the round robin. That means they have to gather as much as points before we move on to the stages. This is again going to be a wildcard stage. I'm your host Peachy, and I will be joined by Ray and Sarah today. Hello, Sarah. How are you doing?
Hello, Peachy. I am doing well and hope you are too. And today it is going to be Team Untitled versus Ryuga in the first match of the wildcard stage in this round robin showdown. And since Ray hasn't joined so far, what are your thoughts, Peachy? Like, who do you think has the upper hand in today's match?
We already know how Untitled have been, quite experienced in this area. Maybe we be able to look at a 2-1 score going down into the hands of Untitled, or maybe a reverse kind of sweep. But again, the first few days it was just like clean sweeps going on. But just from yesterday, it wasn't the case. So I want to see the third games coming in.
And with that, we have already stepped into the draft itself. Team UT and Team Rayuga, they know each other so very well, especially since Daki was a member of Team Rayuga before this tournament, so she is definitely very accustomed to the picks and bans coming out from those teams.
I do agree with you right there. They do know they're a little bit of macro and the micro gameplay that they have been knowing around. But again, from the side of Team Ryuga Esports, I do see a little bit of a new names coming in. Maybe they just, made sure that the substitutes joined in. So I'm curious to know what kind of gameplay that they are showing today. But at the same time, here we are with the bans, quite a meta bans being laid out on the table as of now. Not much to say about, but again, I want to see that Luke is getting banned.
Exactly. You quite mentioned that the Lucas is definitely ban worthy here. On the side of Untitled, though, we can see the Hayabusa and Kalia getting banned out right away, not wanting Vishal or Chokta Chan to pick up on those heroes because we know how good they are on those two specific picks. On the side of Rayuga, though, Fanny definitely getting banned out, and I do think they are going to ban out on the mid lane Jukshin or even the Hylos or God of Kaja towards the EXP, or who knows, maybe even the Kimi could get banned out.
Highly possible. Highly possible from both the sides because both of the teams really love to push Akemi onto the mid lane. So, yep, that could be a very good ban coming in. But at the same time, we are looking at a Matilda. Now, the Matilda, very good. But I feel like somewhere along the lines, Team Ryuga Esports can prioritize a Matilda for themselves. Or maybe they're just looking forward for a little bit of a tanky composition. Or maybe, prioritizing a Katot Kacha this time.
Exactly, because we know that Joker, who plays Rome for UT, he is very comfortable on the setup tanks instead of the support heroes. So I think here he will once again be aiming for that drawhead, which we saw yesterday against Eternity, and how Team Untitled definitely went ahead for that reverse sweep, the score of 2-1, and won their first game in the wildcard stage. On the side of Ryuga, though, they have a clean streak so far, and today definitely they will be looking to continue it. But who knows? Team Untitled is completely the surprise element here.
Let's see if that's the case or not. But one last band already left. Is it the Suyu? Is it the Lucas? But now that is something new that we weren't expecting. A Joy coming in. A Joy was highly unexpected right here, but at the same time, I believe that was much needed. The early game, a little bit of a hindrance is out of the table. That means that they could go ahead with a Lucas and possibly a Florin pick as well.
Exactly. It is quite quite viable here since Florian is definitely one of the priority picks in the room. But okay, Team Untitled decides to go in for the Badang, definitely one of the strongest EXP laners at the moment with those constant stuns and knockbacks, and obviously a very, very useful utility hero. Which does mean though, Team Rayuga can definitely pick up on a tanky side laner, maybe the Hylos or the Gadot Kacha, and of course, there goes along with Lucas in the jungle.
What a picks coming in. Both the sides is looking quite fire. I'm loving the Gatot Kacha as well. Now it's all left for the high loss to be prioritized. Maybe onto the side of Team Untitled, they might be able to pick it up, but no, it is going to be a Valentina, one of the number one counter for this Lucas. Somewhere, along the lines, it does feels like Valentina is always a forced pick against a Lucas.
Exactly. But then again, this is Daki on the Valentina, and yesterday she performed so stunningly well on that hero, actually being able to counter Eternity's Lucas and eventually winning out on that match. And even the Kimi in the mid lane against the Valentina. Or I do think that's the Kimi in the goal lane. What do you say, Peachy?
Goal lane Kimmy. A little bit of a suspect though if this is pushed to the goal lane. One major thing about Kimmy is she can do it against a Harrod, but at the same time I just it doesn't feel right in my theory. So again they can go in for a physical kind of a marksman, maybe a Brody or maybe something like a Beatrix who does have the mobility. You just have to clear up the lanes, just got to move back, try to go in out, get the team fights. But back into the banning phase, it is going in quite fast. Look at that. Baksha getting banned, the Fredrin getting banned. The rival esports were kind of like, having the thoughts that they might go in for the tank jungle.
Exactly. And if you notice, those are four jungle bands coming in from the side of Ayuga. So they are definitely respecting Kaimku here because he has been quite good on the jungle role for the side of UT. And as for the draft, like you were mentioning, yes, the Harith on that goal lane against the Gimme definitely a very strong choice because obviously you can't keep hitting the Harith once he uses up the Chrono Dash and the Zaman Force together at the same time, and he's gonna keep dashing everywhere. For the last ban, though, I do think it is going to be the CC ban. The CC ban. That's kind of interesting because the Garthkacha is already there. But then again, let's see. But okay, it's quite justified since Visal can still go in for the high loss or even the glue, which is left open.
Oh, glue is definitely his signature pick, so maybe we may be able to look at it. But okay, Hylos is already here. One of the number one counter of not exactly a counter, but a good combo that goes in together is like the Hylos and the Gatot Kacha, but this time they're on the opposite side, so definitely a surprising pick. But Team Rival Esports have opted for a Irithel against a Harrod. Now that's definitely surprising, but let's see if they're able to get it. But one more thing onto the side of Team One title, they have given Shane the Harrod. It's going to be deadly. He's going to take on legendaries on legendaries.
Exactly so. And honestly speaking, we did see a Hylos pick a little here and there, if I'm not wrong. And yeah, it is going to be Visal on the Hylos, like I called it. And for the side of Untitled, obviously Joker on the Jawhead and Kaimku on that Suyo. Definitely good draft coming in from the side of UT. And to top it off, the mage pick for the side of Ryuga is going to be a Jokshin. So two very, very strong draft with Ryuga having the upper hand for the crowd control, while Untitled having more of the damage output. This is going to be a match worth it.
Definitely, one side prioritizing over a team fights and another on the single man pick of Untitled have been, showing those kind of gameplay right from the day number one. The day that they just entered the wildcard stages right there, they did make their presence quite strong with the Jawhead. making sure that it does become a signature pick for them. Once again, on to the game number one, we are looking at it. But I'm curious to know how they will be working around it, given the fact that it's quite a lot to take in with the Zushin being there as of now. Because from the previous few games, somewhere we have seen that the Jawhead sometimes did get a pathway to jump in very quickly, get a ejector on, but this time around that's going to be quite tricky.
Exactly. That is what it is all going to be dependent on that mid lane sync between the Joker and Daki, which they have already established in the number of matches they have played so far. Again, Askiel and Rocco on towards the mid. It's going to be a mid versus mid, honestly, this match. And
Yes.
because the goal lane matchup, Shane is gonna win it with the Harriet, at least in the early game. In the late game, though, it is going to be dependent fully on the Kimi's ultimate. So we will have to see how this match plays out for the both of them. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Land of Dawn.
Let's go. Game number one, Untitled versus Ryuga Esports. Let's see if they're able to get a game on, or maybe another clean sweep onto the hands of Team Ryuga Esports. The stakes are high for gathering as much as points possible. But into the mid lane, I wanted to see a little bit of an ejector play coming in very early on, but they're just like playing it slow.
Yes, they don't want that risk being taken in the early game. And look at that, two purifies coming in from the side of Rayuga and two revitalizes. That's going to be a lot of heal. And the purifies are definitely targeted towards Joker, so he can't eject anyone properly. But then again, it is Joker on the Jawhead, so we will have to see what goes down in this match. But at the moment, as you can see, Rustin trying to freeze down the lane, but on towards the mid side.
Oh, look at that. First blood already coming in. That's quite a early on. And Untitled taking down first blood as early as this, I think they will be rolling the snowball onto their hands.
Exactly. That early snowball is definitely going to be there, especially because of Valentina's taunt. I mean, the Terrify as well as Suyo's Blade Surge. So it is going to deal quite a lot of damage on towards the mid. And now that the first turtle is up, we can see that Chocolate-chan, he does have a bit of a level advantage on Kaimku. But then again, which team is going to take down the turtle, PG? We are beginning right away with it.
Oh, you're gonna see a fight, Vishal, with the glorious pathway. Look at them zoning members out, but Nissan doing the same. Joker, he did not get a pathway to go in, but Kaimiko gets zoned out. Oh, walls coming in with the AOG dropping in. That would be the death for Nissan going in. But wait a minute, they doesn't ends there. Joker with the flicker. He moves backwards, but Ezekiel, look at him. He gets that. Lucas is all alone though. Look at that. Chocolate Chan does gets the kill, and at the same time, Ducky has to go back.
Exactly, not the best of trades right there because Ryuga does have that early brawl strength and they definitely used to their advantage.
Oh,
But look at that Shane being forced to flicker out of that situation and the constant pull coming in from Ace Kill. But on towards the EXP lane though, but then getting a solo kill onto the high loss, that is something totally uncalled for.
crazy. That is definitely crazy coming in onto the EXP lane. And top of that, I did notice how Team Untitled had to spend a lot of resources just for one turtle. Now that is definitely a costly one given the fact that they did not won the trade. So again, they gotta get it a little bit of a slow game for themselves, making sure that they pick it up right from the mid to the late game. Let's see if they're able to get it or not. But at the same time, Ryuga Esports, they will be pressing their advantages in.
Exactly. And at the moment, even though the goal lead is practically the same for both of these teams, Team Ryuga does seem to have a little bit advantage over the map since their rotation is just a tad bit faster as compared to that of Untitled. Look at Joker though trying to get the ejector onto someone, but Rustin with that constant poke onto the Harith as well as the Joyhead is definitely going to be making a difference. Nishan rotating all the way from the bottom lane
Oh,
up to the top, looking for a setup, but look at that. They are definitely going in.
let's go. Fight coming in. Joker gets poked out. Nishan with a perfect set as once again. Look at him zoning out. But Shane, though, he's taking in too much damage as he picks up the kill. That will be the Kimmy doing its God's work, making sure they get the as much as damage possible onto the battlefield. But the AOG dropping in makes sure that they will be displaced. A little bit of a late AOG, but Turtle is here though.
Obviously so, and the Lucas did look for the poke onto Daki, and she definitely took in quite a lot of damage. Neither did she have an ultimate onto that top fight, otherwise things could have definitely turned around. But look at the invade coming in, Peachy.
Joker. Once more. Joker once more getting zoned out. That's another stun for him. And he will be made sure that he will be sent back to the heaven. No mercy for him. And with that, let me introduce you to Ray. Hello, Ray. Welcome to the game number one. How are you doing?
Thank you for covering it up, Peachy. I can always rely on you, and I really apologize. Had some issues, and I had to catch this train from a different one. But I'm glad to be joining back, and I missed out on some action. But at least I'm here for Untitled versus Ryuga Esports. But anyways, Sarah, it's all, of course, Peachy. Thank you for covering, and let's see how the game is going so far. Looks like Ryuga is leading quite a bit, isn't it, Sarah?
Exactly that they are. They are controlling the map really well, and as well as protecting the Kimmy from taking in too much of damage, while also dealing a damage lot herself. But then again, as we can see on towards the mid, I do think a team fight might just break out as they attempt to take down the mid tier one. Look at the blade surge coming in, but Kaimku will have to run away. Does not bait the Purify out of Kimmy though, but definitely uses up the Glorious Pathway. But onto the top side, Chocolate Chan doing what he does best. Goes in for the split. AOG comes in. Vissal catching two in the middle of it. Gets the taunt. But then again, Team Chocolate Chan and Team Rayuga Esports definitely get those kills which they needed so desperately. Lucky here going to be left all alone to defend the mid tier 1. I don't think she's going to be up for it though. Yep, definitely going to be playing it safe by recalling back to base.
So far, though, the score has been 3-9, and we're seeing a goal lead. I know not much goal lead actually. It has been quite similar on both ends. So kudos to Untitled despite the score disparity, and also look at the amount of turrets being lost out here. Like they are basically losing the map as we speak, because look at it, it's turning red right now. Mid tier 2 and bottom tier 2 are the only ones standing. Top inhibitor already getting exposed, which is not a good not a good state to be in. So we're probably going to be seeing, okay, they're contested lord, so sorry, the turtle, so they will extend the game a little bit. But bottom lane looks like they want to go in for a skirmish perhaps. Bottom lane.
And as we can see Kaimko getting the kill onto Vissal there. Kimmy being able to escape with just 1 HP. Daki having to use up the Untamed Beast for herself. Did get the advantage in this map. We'll have to recall a little bit back in safety though. Rocco going for the chase. But then again, Team Rayuga still has the lead in their favor. I can't really predict the goal difference here. But then again, the stream, it seems to be quite well in favor of Team Rayuga. But the Kimmy's ult landing perfectly. And even Joker getting knocked up, but look at the Badang going in for the backlane chain, now dealing quite a lot of damage. AOG comes in from Daki, not Vissal this time, and Team Untitled seems to be right back on track.
Getting 2 trades for none. Untitled, I mean, they're a team that has shown quite a bit of prowess right against Eternity, and they're really showing it against Ryuga back again. And I would love to see, of course, a bounce back, but the score sits at 6-9 as we proceed with the game. Okay, 4 turrets, right? 4 turrets taken, 0 on the hands of Untitled. So they need to level up their turret game, but how can they do it? Especially with the Gatod as well as Hylos covering most of the map. And of course, they have my wife Zushin. How do they give out the Zushin? Come on, guys, Untitled. You can't be making this mistake. But, oh, I just realized it's a Kimi goal lane. Oh, look at that.
Okay, we can see Nishchan getting taken down right away by Chocolate Chan, and he gets the triple onto the back line. I mean, it's a double, but then again, he started off with Nishchan right there, so it's a triple for him. And Team Rayuga just completely dominating with the amount of damage that they are dealing, because Rocco and Vissal on the front line doing absolutely God's work in getting the setups for Rustin as well as Chocolate Chan, and they are simply backing them up so well. That is why Team Rayuga seems to be dominating this game so well.
Absolutely. I mean, they took a trade for 2 from the hands of Untitled, right? And then Ryuga was like, let us make it 3. And they took down 3 for none. And right now, the Madara has spawned in and they can just immediately get it. And looking at the pace of the game, all inhibitors already being lost. They're basically vulnerable. The mid turret doesn't even have the shield anymore. It's not even been 12 minutes, so that's a very huge loss that they have taken. They have to put in all the efforts to defend it. But Daki here can only obviously copy the ultimate of Chocolate Chan or at most Vishal. I wouldn't recommend the AOG. Maybe for zone out. Maybe for zone out it would work on this Lord because you obviously don't want to get CC'd because they do have good amount of damage. Shane, I would love to see the builds as well as we wait for the Lord. I think he has 2 items at least. On the other hand, though, I'm really curious about Kimi's itemization. Like, I think like some people like to go for a classic burst build. Okay, there we go. Okay, classic burst build. And Harris building towards the Holy Crystal as well. Still missing one more recipe item to build it up fully, so it's going to take some time. Lucas here with the Winter Crown, so expect some freeze gameplay coming in from, of course, Chocolate Chan. It's gonna come in soon. Lord marching down from mid lane. Let's see if they can defend it.
Exactly. So the Lord is going to be smashing right onto that turret, and obviously they might just get it. But Joker though tried the ejector play onto the Jokshin, who had the lantern flare to just escape right away with it. Kimi with that constant poke, and Shan isn't just able to stand right in front. Daki having used up Untamed the Beast AOG right onto the back line, doesn't really catch anyone, but does get the taunt onto Shane. Shane trying to go in with his
The
command
base
force,
is
trying to deal some
gone.
damage, but Chocolate Chan on the mission gets the base for Team Rayuga Esports.
The win was so overwhelming, even the scoreboard was glitching out at the top. Jokes aside, Rayuga gets, I would say, quite of an overwhelming win from the hands of Untitled, and this is just game number 1 in a best of 3 series. I feel like Untitled, they were showing signs of bounce back, but maybe it wasn't enough. But hey, our host, and of course, the one who covered for me is back. Hello, Peachy. It's nice to have you back. What a match we just had. I mean, you just covered for a little bit, right? So I think you can all tell what happened.
Definitely. As you mentioned already, Untitled did. So, into the minute 1, they had it on their hands. They kind of got their like snowballing going on, but at the same time, they just lost it quite at that moment as well. So again, what a game coming in from Raiga Esports. They tapped in at the right spots. They knew how to go about with the high loss and the cutout kacha combo, and I really loved it. What about you guys?
What about Sarah?
Honestly speaking, like I like to call Tim Rayuga, I like to call it Team Chocolate Chan instead because he is somehow doing everything for the team. He's taking the neutral objectives, he's going for the split pushes, he's getting the kills,
Agree.
all while just being the MVP of the entire match. But then again, huge props to Vishal and Rocco as well for that kind of frontlining and setups. They're doing a fantastic job on the side of Untitled though.
Mhm.
Taki and Joker, they did have the mid sync, but somehow their draft just fell behind a bit against the Lucas and that kind of setups by Vishal. So unfortunately, they did lose out on game 1, but obviously it's Untitled. They can always come back with a reverse sweep.
I
Absolutely
do
right.
agree. And during the draft, we did say how Valentina could be a forced pick. This game was definitely that's the case. So yep, with that, we'll be going down with a short break. Do stay
No,
tuned.
no, no,
We'll be
no.
right.
I think we need to see the results, right? Because I think we didn't see the results. Yeah, yeah. The results screen. We want to see. I mean,
Oh,
what was it again? I think Sarah already called it Chocolate Chan team.
yeah.
I'm chuckling
I
because
I do think he's the MVP.
yeah, I do think he's the MVP, but I found it really funny when I mean it's not that it's a lie, okay? Chocolate Chan is putting in the work, but Vishal would be so offended. Like, hey yo, I'm not gonna tank anymore. He's gonna be like, nah, I ain't tanking anymore if Chocolate Chan is the one taking the whole credit. Because I mean I think Sarah will know his reaction much better, right?
Exactly. Vishal is going to be like, Man, Ray, you did not glaze me. That's not right. I want you to glaze me more. I did so much work, so much frontlining. Where is my glaze, man?
I mean, I'm not really sure how can I glaze him. Vishal, come on, pull up your Natalia room. Yeah, then I'll glaze
Let's
you
go.
definitely. I mean, come
Yeah.
on, like, how can I glaze a Hylos that much? What you do? You just walk around and put the ramp for your team. That's it, right? What am I supposed to glaze? Like, wow, he's putting in the ramp. So exciting. But yeah, jokes aside, shout out to all Hylos players. You're valued. Don't worry. Don't stop playing Hylos, guys. Hylos is still strong. And I mean, it's clearly shown. Especially, I'm actually surprised they gave away Untitled. I missed out, obviously, the draft phase. What just happened? They gave out Gatot, Hylos, and Zushin like three power picks. Like, what happened?
Somewhere they just wanted to go with the Badang, prioritizing the Badang. So again, that was something they should have. They shouldn't have went in for the 1 month pick off while having the Lucas there who deals a bit of AOE damage plus
Hmm.
a single target damage, right? So they should have pushed a Barang onto the EXP while taking something on a support or maybe a tanky pick coming in. So that could have been a very good way for Untitled, but it's still not over for them. They
Yeah.
can do the same. They can throw this kind of gameplay right onto the game number two.
Yeah, I think Sarah, what do you think? I feel like maybe this game was maybe it's a little warm up, like how Untitled like to does
Warm up.
it. Yeah,
Yep, it's a warm up, of course, because they still have that synergy amongst them, and they will definitely be looking for a comeback in game number two. And like we were mentioning, Untitled, they are good at the reverse sweeps, like we saw yesterday. So, you know what? They just studied their opponents in game number one, and now they're going to be looking back right onto it in game number two.
absolutely. And I would love to see the result screen too. I want to see the statistics actually. Like, I want to see how much Vishal did. Because I mean, I want to see his damage taken. Any statistics you want to see, guys? Sarah, what statistics would you like to see?
Honestly, the amount of damage dealt. I want to see if Kimmy dealt more damage or if it was the Lucas. I have a feeling it's the Lucas though, with the
Oh
number
my
of
God.
engages he took. So yeah, it's definitely going to be the damage dealt and the turrets push. That's what.
Gold laner, better step up your game. Come on, like I know junglers are like the hyper, right? They take all the resources as much as possible, but you're the gold laner. Come on, you gotta step up your game. And there we go, the custom results screen. Oh, I just love to see it. Look at all the heroes. It looks so good. Loving the production work at,
Oh,
of course, Indian Gaming Corps. It's looking really great. But oh, Barang only got 2 items while Lucas was fully built. The Barang
yeah.
just did not work out at all.
This is what happens when you prioritized a Barang onto the first. And one more thing, the game duration. I really love it how it's shining in game number two.
Same here. I love that is shining as well. But everything else, Sky Miku only got okay, he played a really safe game, 103. On the other hand, okay, 503, four of course, Chocolate Chan over here. But I think Sky Miku needs to play a little bit more aggressive, but let's see it. I think we can head to the game number two. What do you think, Peachy?
Yep, I think so. And with that, we can definitely see that Team Rayuga was dominating all the way in this match, and Team Untitled did try to keep up with it. And now we'll see them try to play it even better. So on to match number two.
Absolutely. And I think
Of
Peachy, of
course.
course, you can do the honors.
Hello. Let's go, guys. Oh, we will be back with the game number two right here. No breaks coming in. Now, this was the scoreboard that it was presented by the both of these teams in the game number one. I hope you guys enjoyed that match because this match, Team Rayuga Esports do have the upper hand of taking the one more score onto their hands. So this may or may not be onto their hands. So let's see if that's the case or not. But on to the other hand, you know, Ray, should they go in for that single man pickup? Because Untitled, they are very much into it.
I think single man pick off if done right, of course, is amazing because especially considering the fact that I mean, if Chocolate Chan is really the MVP, right? He's really the one taking the whole pace. Just take him out. It's pretty easy, isn't it? So far, he has been playing a very. I mean, even that day, I noticed he had 0 deaths. Like literally, nobody was able to catch up to him. So maybe going for a single man pick off, taking down Chocolate Chan, and creating at least some level of intimidation might just work it out for their favor.
Highly possible. Let's see if they are able to get it or not. But Sarah, The
Yes,
Valentina
ma'am.
pick. Now that the Lucas was open, do you think the Lucas should have been like prioritized as a ban and not a pick?
I don't think so because you know what happens. Sometimes you're just very confident with what you're picking, like Daki and Valentina, right? You can always expect her to make the plays and do the things for your team. But then again, the enemy is also a formidable one. It's Chocolate Chan. He's literally one of the best junglers in India, and he is on the Lucas. So obviously, a Valentina with like on the Lucas and the Lucas on the Lucas, it's definitely going to be a little bit of a difference. But then again, props to the Valentina for actually trying to use up those ultimates at the proper timing and for proper util. But then again, obviously, Rayuga is Rayuga.
Right,
I
guys, right.
do.
I like that term.
So let's see if they're able to give us a clean sweep once again as the same as the day number one. Now I'm curious to know how the games would be going around, given the fact that they do have the same kind of a responsibility right from the day number one. Day number one, it was a clean sweep, so why not day number three can go with a clean sweep? But now that Team Untitled, they are just kind of be aware. They just know that they have to gear up against them. Team Ryuga Esports. And one more thing about Team Ryuga Esports is that they are definitely a good contender, and how they have been playing around. So I do feel like they can climb up the leaderboard.
Absolutely. I also agree. I've been actually obviously I'm acquainted with Chocolate Chan, and I feel like he's a really good jungler. And it's pretty sad that in a lot of previous seasons he was not able to make it to the top eight. But I feel like there's been a lot of improvements been done, and I feel like the rotations as well as the drafting has gotten so much better. And so I'm low-key rooting for them, not just because of I'm acquainted, but it's really seems like they have made a lot of progress and they're really showing their prowess over other teams. But I'm willing to see if Untitled, being the team that was able to reverse sweep yesterday, the day before, is able to do the same today.
Let's see. And one more thing that they have been having high hopes is, somewhere along the lines, I really don't want to see the Jawhead pick again. I feel like it's okay for Joker. It's a comfortable pick, and during some kind of a gameplays that he can make it work. Now that the team Untitled are on the they are on the red side. I believe they can actually make a play out of it with the Jawhead. But if there's no Lucas, they should have gone in with a Lucas ban. They should have went in with a something as mere as a Lucas being open was problematic. The Zushin being open, if there wasn't the Zushin there onto the picture, it would have been easier for the side of Team Untitled to grab back the snowball. But here we are into the draft. Sarah and Ray, take it away.
Thank you, thank you. And Sarah, nice to have you finally from the minute one. Unfortunately, I was late in the previous game, but this time around, of course, I'm sticking here. And it's nice to have you back.
Definitely Ray. And we do have to thank Peachy for carrying us.
Of
She
course.
has been around for so long. She definitely deserves a raise. Anyways, we give up on the flattery. And back to all seriousness for this match. We can see Rayuga once again going in for the Fanny ban. Definitely justified. Again, the Matilda getting banned out. Quite the similar draft as game number one. While Untitled, they go in for the Hayabusa ban once again, and I'm assuming there is going to be a Kalia ban or at least a healer, or even of course, the Lucas gets the respect ban. That's quite justified right there.
But it might leave out Kalia Zushin, like just like we discussed, right? So they definitely need to prioritize it. Previous game, the Herod did not really work out into the favor too much, but I have a feeling whoever gets the Herod this game, I feel like I just have a feeling, okay, a gut feeling that Herod is going to be really a good power pick in this time around. But let's see. Kalia and Zushin still going to be left out open. What else ban do they have? And yep, I do agree. I feel like they can. Yeah, a jawhead seeing every game can be a little bit boring, but I feel like the strength that the jawhead brings is a little bit too much for Ryuga, and I feel like Untitled should recognize it and perhaps at least okay. Ryuga is the one who bans out the Zushin, so that means that they want to go for something else entirely.
Exactly. They did ban out your Jukshin this time, Ray, so you won't be seeing her anymore in this game. So pray that there's a third one and title actually carries this one. And on for the third ban for the Sarawan title, I do think of course, it's the Garut Kacha getting banned now, which means that Kalia is still open for both Rocco and Vishal to pick up, and they have been quite efficient on that hero. So we'll definitely have to see what Team Rayuga is planning here. Are they going to prioritize their EXP? And they do. They definitely. I called it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I understand that they have kind of a fear of the Gatot, but come on, guys, it's Kalia. Kalia is like Gatot Pro Max, guys. She has the knock up, she has the pick off, she has heals. What else do you need? She's like a full on package. And I feel like giving away the Kalia is gonna be really hefty, sum that they have to pay. Yup, you're gonna get Purify, but Purify is not gonna be coming in handy each time if you've already used up, especially if they pick up a mage that does not have a dash, because you're going to use that purify to escape in a lot of situations, right? So I feel like giving it a Kalia, they're going to be suffering a little bit of consequences. This might just be a clean sweep, unless Untitled can prove me wrong. I would love to be proven wrong. Maybe I have the reverse Costa jinx. There we go. I just told you the health is not gonna be immediately picked up, but there we go again. Untitled also pick up the Badang, but previous game it did not work out. Will it this game?
Good question right there. And is Team Ryuga going to repeat the Kimi pick onto as the goal side while picking up a high loss once again for the Roam or the EXP wherever they want it to be? But then again, they still have to lock in on a mage, otherwise Untitled is going to be panning out on those mid laners on towards the second banning phase because
Mm-hmm.
obviously who wants a skill to have an advantage on his preferred heroes? Obviously not. They do have to give Daki a little bit of an easier time since it's obviously a difficult matchup for her in the mid lane. Then again, job well done by her, so we'll have to see how this match plays out.
Absolutely. And let's just see how the draft really works around this. Okay, they pick up the Kimi, and of course, the CEO goes into the hands of Chocolate Chan. So expect some fast-paced jungle. And I mean, he's been a jungle main for a very long time without any. Oh. You mentioned it on the previous day, like that day, Sarah. You mentioned a notorious Baksha main. It looks like they're going all in because, of course, they have to. This is the match point. They don't want to get clean sweep. What do you have the expectations for the? I mean, you're more well acquainted. What expectations do you have from this Baksha?
Like is this a Florine Baxia combo? But who's gonna give them the Florine? The Florine is gonna get banned out. Use your brains, man. The Florine is gonna be getting banned out. I think they are going to be looking in for that Matilda or Phyla or even a freaking Estes or Angela to be picked up in the draft for
Angela,
Untitled.
yeah. I feel like
Both,
Angela.
yeah, Angela might just be viable, but then again, with the amount of dashes and the amount of mobility which Team Ryuga has at the moment, still quite risky to be playing those supports. Baxia Florin,
Absolutely.
that's one of the strongest compositions you can play unless your enemy is an aeroplane fire standard. But okay, uh, every everything aside, G-Man title here with the focus and Hylos bands right there. So we'll have to see what the last band is going to be. Definitely, I think it's going to be a Matilda band coming in from Rayuga.
It's already been banned out, actually, if I'm not wrong. Yep, it's been banned out,
Oh
so it
yeah,
makes
yeah, yeah.
sense. Don't worry, don't worry. We're seeing 3D bans, right? So we are too used to 2D. We gotta let go of the 2D waifus. Gotta embrace the 3D guys. But yeah, jokes aside, looking at the fact that this is the issue. I feel like they could have prioritized the Florian. Like, come on, like if you what if the Baksha was a kind of a last minute decision? That's the whole reason they did not really commit to it. Like they did not prioritize the Florian. Was it a last minute decision? Because it really screams to me like that. Because especially when you consider they could have picked it up earlier.
Exactly, quite well said there. Because what should I pick or what should be my next pick? But obviously, they went in for the Bakshia for that constant anti heal effect, which is going to be coming in from his passive. And Daki here does get her comfort pick. It is going to be the Sicilian in the mid lane against a possible Farsa pick, maybe coming in from A skill. So we'll have to see what happens. But then again, Team Untitled here a bit of a sketchy draft so far because there's still no healer for the Baxia. So we'll really have to see how this plays out for them. But on the hand of Ryuda though, they have three comfort heroes, the Suyo, the Kalia, as well as the Kimi. And on to the next ones, they are definitely going to be just picking up on the other comfort picks left up.
Absolutely. Giving already three really good comfort picks into the hands of Ryuga Esports is not something that they wanted. And I mean that this is where okay, they go in with the Eve and Glue combo. It's a really interesting choice to be sure, but quite of a welcome one because glue is something that you really don't want to mess with if you don't have the concrete counter. And so far, they don't exactly have it. It's all magic damage. Yes, Harriet does dish out true damage, but that's after the Starlium side and he gets a few more magic items to scale up with the true damage, but it's gonna take time. On the other hand, I feel like Glue will just full on go magic defense, call it a day, and not be bothered because he's going to be really tanky for them to chunk down. And last one, this is obviously going to be either a Rafaela or an Angel. I feel like SS will be a little bit too immobile. It will be a very easy picking that they don't want to go for unless they want to surprise me. But I feel like it's probably going to be an Angela at most. Okay, no
Okay.
healer? No healer?
Joy! Joker once again on his comfort pick. Joy going to be coming in, which means that we will be seeing Kimi on that Purify once more, which does make it a little bit easier for the Baxia to catch her off guard. But then again, it's just Team Ryuga, and they have Isal and Rocco on the front line. Are they even going to let the Baxia and the Joy reach to her? No, they won't.
Yeah, Vishal, this is your like what do you say, well requested place. Vishal is just so strong in the front line. They're not gonna be able to cross him because it's a true thing. There's Kalea with the heals, and there's of course the glue. I'm not really sure how they're gonna go through it with it. Especially, I feel like Badang will have to do a lot of heavy lifting. I know Bakshay is there, but he's mostly gonna be a sandbag, or at least try to provide the slow. It's mostly gonna be either the Badang or the Johad to make the play. And if it doesn't happen, if it fails numerous times, I feel like this might just be a very walk in the park for Ryuga Esports.
Exactly. And ironically the fact is that 4 to 5, like actually all 5 of their picks are proper comfort picks. And even Kaimko is on his Bakshia, Daki is on the Sicilian, Shane is on the Harriet. So it's like a battle of comfort picks versus comfort picks. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Land of Dawn. And here
Let's
we
go.
can see Sasu and Sakura and Sasuke, Chocolate-chan, ex-Rocco. Welcome to the land of the. I just ran out of words right there.
It's okay, it's okay. It happens, all right? I can relate to it the most. Sometimes you want to say something, it's either tip of your mouth, but it doesn't really come out. But yeah, whatever. It's okay because we're going to be diving straight into the game number 2 of this best of 3 series. And of course, into the casting desk, it's your favorite duo. If it's not your favorite, you need to stop watching. I'm just kidding, guys. It's of course Ray and Sarah. But let's see over the draft. We do have some criticisms about Untitled, but I would just love that I'm jinxing it and they can prove me wrong. But let's see how it works out. Patang into the XP lane, something that we don't see that often because he gets pushed into the roaming. Let's see if he can be the playmaker here because his damage, his set is going to be the most important. But let's see.
Okay, we can see the early skirmishes coming in. Visal trying to zone them away, and does wait? That's not his ult. Okay,
Yep.
that's your reworked glue right there for you guys. Just one of those broken little things. And Rocco there is stacking up his passive right before the first turtle, and both teams going to be looking for those level 4s so that they can have the maximum advantage at the first turtle of the game.
Absolutely. They're rotating and the turtle has just spawned in. They can really go in for it, but the fact that there's a Suyo, oh, what? A flicker being already used up right away. That's interesting. Oh, it was not a Eve, it was actually a Louis. Looks like she had a really good plastic surgery, but let's see. Look at the Jawhead's positioning.
Okay, look at the ejector play coming on by Visal. Sanguine Cross does manage to get them. And the Badang with the setup. Visal will manage to escape with 1 HP. Chocolate Chan is also going to be caught out very low. And the first blood being secured by Kainku. On to that, Kalia. Not the best start for Team Ryuga here because the first turtle it is going to the hands of Untitled.
Absolutely. You went on full on Eminem mode here. What the Jawhead?
The ejector once more. A good sacrifice right there. Taking down Chocolate Chan already in the first 3 minutes of the game. Good trade coming in. The Turtle and Jungler for just the Roma. Definitely good play by Ryuga. Untitled right there. And now Team Ryuga will really have to back it up and re-strategize if they want to make a comeback from that early little setback.
Absolutely. I mean, I understand. I kind of see why Joker wanted to go for it right now. Prioritizing Chocolate Chan was the main thing, and they were able to get the first death of his in this tournament. Like in wildcard stage, that's his first death. That's a statement. But oh, Tsunami slam into
Look
the
at
top
the
lane.
flicker play coming in by Rocco right there. Went in for the flicker, got Joker, and ulted him right back into the turret. And that was a free easy kill for the Kimi. And that is going to give her a lot of that early advantage because she is going to get her items quite early. That does mean that Harith now has to strategize a little bit better and try to last hit all the minions while also freezing them up because then again, that is the only way. And look at that, he uses up the Zaman Force, tries to go away and gets the Purify being baited out by 4 people in his lane. That is like absolute rotation domination coming in by the side of Ryuga Esports.
Absolutely, and I just love that you say Kimi got an easy kill. For a second, I was like, oh, why are you calling the Louis easy kill? But oh, onto the top lane, Joehead goes in.
Rocco trying to get a Sammy Slam onto one, gets it, but it would not be of much use. Shane trying to get the Saman Force to work, but misses the dash and will fall prey. And there goes the Purify getting baited out of Rustin. Kainko coming in from the backline, finds the Kimi in the middle of all of it, will safely manage to run out of the tower. Daki with that early little damage. That's what happens when you give her a comfort hero. She's just going to completely dominate you.
Yep, there we go. Gold laner for gold laner trade Ranger in the top lane, but Kimi just absolutely showing why why I consider her so OP. Frontline isn't gonna frontline you because Kimi's damage will go through with it, and that's the whole reason Harith was punished. But into the turtle fight we go.
Okay, and look at that, another rejector play being tried, but Vishal not going to leave Joker. Joker forced the flicker up, but Vishal is all the way into the backline. While here, the Baxi are trying to chase down Nishtan, gets the wall onto 3 of them, uses the best of them, gets 3. Killing spree for the Baxi right there, while Daki finds Akalia. And now, Team Untitled is finally looking quite strong. Then they definitely will be aiming to take down the tower on towards the bottom side, while Harith and Kimi just brawl it out quick little things onto the top.
It's honestly impressive. You told me to watch out for the Baksha, and it's actually kind of working out in favor. Chocolate Chan so far 0-1 on a Suyo, which is supposed to be snowballing right from the early game, especially considering the fact they also got a Louis, which absolutely synergizes with the well rotations. But it's really amazing that Kaimiku 3-0-1. This guy absolutely changed the pace of how Chocolate Chan has been playing throughout this tournament, right? No more. It looks like it might just be a game number 3, but it's still a little bit too early to tell because, of course, there's Kimi. Vishal still hasn't been taken down a single once. So if he becomes a little bit too tanky, he will be a massive bother for their whole team. And I'm really willing to see how they can, take him down because I feel like they don't have enough damage just yet. But just like you said, there's Comfort Hero, the Daki getting the Sicilian might just be able to carry the late game because even if the head fails, it basically getting the Sicilian, even if your marksman is not able to do much, the Sicilian can always create that space with the amount of damage it can dish out later into the face once you get stacks up. And there is the glowing wand, so not too much healing business that could be coming from the Kalia right now. So let's just see how it works out. Bottom lane turret getting taken down. 1 into the favors of Untitled. 1 turtle on both sides. Let's see what happens into the last one, which will be coming soon.
Exactly, and now we can see another Tsunami Slam along with a flicker on to Kaimku. And as we can see, Rustin going to be poked down quite low. Vishal goes in for his ultimate, finds one in the middle of it. Another Tsunami Slam coming in, but Rocco will be taken down along with Shane taking down Rustin in the middle of all of it. His skill will try to be escaping with less than 1 HP remaining. But Chocolate Chan onto the back line, goes in, swishes in, takes down the Baxia and will be escaping right away. But Badang catches in the middle of it. While Daki finds his kill under their tier 1. Chocolate Chan trying to look for an escape here, but those stuns are coming in from the Badang. This is why you don't pick a Suyo against the Badang. And also don't give Nishtan his Badang. And that is why, as you can see, Team UT here, once they're on their comfort, they are looking on a much better trajectory at the moment. And again, on the mid side, we can try to see the Tsunami Slam coming in by Rocco onto the mid side, but Badang gets taken down this time by Rustin. So obviously, a little bit of a setback for UT right here, but they are still on the lead with a 2k goal lead and 5 kills in their favor.
Absolutely. They are able to really take the pace of the game this time around, but looking at the positioning, Suyo is nowhere nearby. Do they want to commit to it? they cannot. Kaimiku immediately gets it with the fast jungling speed of the Baksha. Level 11 right now. Would love to see the itemization because I want to see. Okay, he gets the Radiant armor, so Kimi is not going to be that much of a bother. He also has the Blade armor, so Kimi's basic attack will also get reverted back. If Yep, I know she's magic, but since Kimi also initiates as a basic attack, it counts. And because of it, Kimi will hurt herself while trying to hurt him. 2 Radiant armor already into the place. Barang has the Thunder Bell onto the other hand. Okay, Conceal Plate. Do they want to go for something? Nah, they don't really go for. Louis only has one item. That's the anti-heal. Sicilian, though, is a little bit doing much better because look at that. He's going to be either getting the Lightning Truncheon or most likely it's going to be the Wishing Lantern. He will be getting it anytime soon. Let's look at the goal line disparity. Surprisingly, Kimi and Harrod both have 5.9k gold. So Kimi is actually doing still very good, and I think it helped with the fact that Kimi has 3 kills while Harrod only has 2. So even if the team is leading, Kimi having that kill advantage, really still staying on the edge. And of course, Chocolate Chan going for a split push game right now gets away from trouble.
Exactly, and even if you see the Chocolate-chan, he's on a 1-3-1, but there is practically no level gap between him and Kaimku, which just shows his fervor as a jungler and how well he's doing. But look at that onto the bot side. We can see Joker trying to get an ejector play, but Daki will be caught out in the middle of 3 people while Rustin finds him in the middle of all of it. Baksha trying to go in for the engage, but then uses up his wall, uses the fist of Zen, his skill finds the kill onto Nishan right there, but Shane will be finding Rocco in the middle of it. But Rustin gets a double. What is this going to be? Rustin gets taken down. Kaimku with the blade armor passive will take down Rustin. What a beautiful mind game being played right there. 2 dead from the side of Ryuga and 3 dead from the side of Untitled. 2 for 3 traded this late. Daki just needs to position a little safer, and that would have been a complete wipeout for the side of Untitled.
Absolutely, and you know, I was mentioning it, right? The blade armor, it works against Kimi, and it was the doom. If the Kimi just silently went back, she would be alive. But Rustin here really wanted to dish out some damage, but instead had to hurt himself back in the foot, and it kind of proved out bad because right now, even if it was a positive trade 2 for 3, look at that, they're not in a position to contest for the Lord, and it's a free Lord into the hands of Untitled. The game is really looking into their favor, but Chocolate-chan tries to turn it around to their favor. He has pushed all of the turrets of the tier 1s, so far he's trying to create a little bit of map presence, but look at that into the mid lane.
Look at that!
Daki!
Taken down. She gets picked off by Rocco onto that Acadia. Just a little bit of an unfortunate situation. Your Joker will be looking for the ejector play, but Glue with those constant immobilizers and Rustin with the pew 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 damage coming in. Look at Chocolate-chan trying to go in. Shane will be forced to flicker out of the situation with Luoi with the diversion play, trying to look for the yin-yang reaction to the minion. Oh my god, the creep saves the life of Kaimku right there.
Creep MVP. Creep is MVP. If that is pretty insane. But yeah, overall, the Lord, they wanted to go in for the trade. They do get the Joker, but the score is still into the favors of Untitled. But looking at how they lost out a member, this Lord will inevitably go into the waste. But what's happening into the mid lane? The purple buff area. Boom, kaboom. A lot of damage being dished out, members being lost, but Shane gets a kill and ultimately gets shut it down as well, Sarah.
Okay, as we can see, Daki with the double kill. Vishal getting caught out in the middle of 4 people, and he will be taken down by Nishan this time. Daki, having picked up the Divine Glaive right away, is going to be dealing a lot more damage this time. And even Shane would have safely managed to escape out of that team fight. But then, Chocolate-chan had the perfect timing for the Blade Surge. And like I was saying, he is alone trying to do a lot for his team this time around as well. But this time, look at Nishan. He's trying to go in for the turret, but of course, the Blade Surge has a faster wave clear, and he will be safely defending that tier 2 turret.
So far, Chocolate-chan has been doing a really phenomenal job trying to get the map control, not just pushing but also defending. He defended the Lord all solo, was able to make sure the tier 2 doesn't fall at any cost because every one more turret standing is one less headache for you. But sadly, that's not the case for the top and bottom lane. Tier 2s do not exist anymore, and because of it, the inhibitors are gonna be vulnerable. The next Lord fight, they gotta take it. If they don't do it, their inhibitor is going to be on jeopardy. Maybe multiple, the two inhibitors might just be in a lot of trouble. And once you start to lose out, it's a slow pace toward the inevitable end of your game. Unless, of course, you go with a full wipeout, but that's a chance that you're leading on to fate. Like, what's the chances of that? So instead of it, they have to play the safe game, but at the same time, they gotta take in the risk. They gotta go in for the Lord. If they don't do it, they're going to be facing the consequences. Vishal needs to be on the front line, as well as Kalia has been doing immaculate pickoffs. But this time around, I feel like which target do they want to go for? They have been taking down Daki, but I don't think switching away from Daki is going to be a wise decision either. Either way, they need to make sure Sicilian is taken down first, but at least they can enter the Lord first. But let's see what happens, because of course Kai Miku, well known, what's going to happen? Enter the Lord pit.
Okay, look at that. The Lord already being taken
no.
down by Chocolate Chan. They just bursted it away. And the team Untitled didn't even get a chance to try and contest it. Jawhead there trying to go in for a little bit of a play, but his kill and Visal fall prey already. Team UT is going to be chasing, gets the wall of Rustin and takes him down. Okay, 3 dead for the side of Ryuga. Team Untitled could go in for the straight mid lane push, but then again, the Lord is going to be marching down the bottom lane. It's a Lord for 3 trade, not the best of decisions, being taken down by Ryuga right here. I think that's a little bit of a network issue, but look at that, as we were mentioning, they tried to go in for that mid lane push, but the enhanced minions are going to be quite stronger for the side of Ryuga at the moment, while Kaimko is going to be solo clearing the Lord this time. As we can see, Team Untitled still defending it, still maintaining their goal lead by 3k. And here Visal and Chocolate Chan and his kill, 3 people trying to zone out Nischan, but he will be able to escape right away with no problems at all. These two teams, they are still brawling it out so well, and even the goal gap is quite low, just a mere 3k, which can be covered with just one shutdown. And as we can see at the moment, lanes are going to be frozen, and Untitled, they really need to go for those little pickoffs so they can end the game.
Absolutely, Sarah. And I just feel like this game is going to get dragged down a little bit, because, of course, Ryuga is not going to let this game go out of their grasp that easy, right? And because of it, we might just see this game getting extended to even at least maybe 16, 18, or maybe 20 minutes, because I feel like it's going to go that way. But so far, of course, it's going to be a slow and intense game, a game of patience. A patience to wait to see who does the first mistake. But of course, one upper hand that Ryuga has, it's that diversion. That diversion can really create something unexpected for Untitled. And that is mainly, I feel like, at this point of the game, this is where Louis would be able to shine the most. This is where she has the power to control and change the pace of the game completely. But at the same time, I feel like Untitled, they have the map presence. They are aware that there could be a play coming, so they're going to be playing a very safe and concise game, making sure that, of course, Ezekiel here doesn't get any form of advantage.
Look at that, with the early wall coming in, but Rocco gets the Tsunami Slammer onto her. Nischan will be trying to escape, but Rocco gets caught. Rustin taken down very low. Will be taken down by Joker right away with the... Oh my god, with the Joker right there. And Shane also takes down his kill in the middle of it. Gets the double kill onto Rocco. The minions are going to be cleared right away. 3 dead for the side of Ryuga. Untitled can just go in for that one final push. It's just 2 of them remaining. Or are they going to be securing the Lord? Ray?
I think they need to go for a safer route, and I think they will. Going for the Lord is going to be much better, because, of course, you don't want to risk it. Don't want to go in, because despite there's only 2 members, Vishal and Chocolate Chan, they have decent amount of wave clear that they can make sure that the wave gets immediately pushed back. Even if it costs perhaps, Glue might get taken down, they are aware. So I think this is a good sign. They're paying respect to 2 of the members from Ryuga and going for a safe route, which I highly appreciate. But let's just see, the Lord's going to be coming up in 10 or 15 seconds. And not having any more tier 2s. Oh, the Lord came in quick. Just like me, I came quick, right? Even if I was late. Jokes aside though. 5 members versus 5. Both have 1 goal to get the base. 1 is to defend, 1 is to take it down. Let's say the Lord final push. Is this gonna be a game number 3?
We do hope. And look at that, the Sanguine Claws actually catching two of them. Daki being forced to purify out. Rocco, no more Tsunami Slam right there, but the ejector on the Visavis has been taken down very low while Rustin finds Nishchan and Shane in the middle of it. He is still quiet, healthy. He is looking for Joker. The yin yang reaction takes down Daki and Joker very, very low. Look at the diversion play coming in. Daki is unaware. But okay, Loi did not actually commit to it. Okay, they are still safe. But a major setback for Team Untitled. They could not push ahead with that lot, and now three of their members are dead, which means that Rayuga is going to be using their full advantage.
Really great defense coming in from the hands of course, Ryuga. Honestly, I feel like even Untitled was caught off guard by it, and they were not prepared for that, of course, brutal retaliation that was coming in. Three members already getting taken down, and right now, the pace has changed again. It's a full-on back and forth, but oh, Kalia wanted to commit.
Okay, a little bit of the ejector being missed out, but Rocco is going to be caught out very low. And look at Shin, he's trying to go in for the dashes. He will find his kill. He does not. His kill manages to survive with 1 HP, but look at the bots. You're chasing him onto the very nick of their own spawn. Nishchan coming in from the back line, but Chocolate Chan gets taken down by Nishchan once again. This time, Rustin Trill still trying to deal damage, but Shane is still very, very healthy, has the amount of shield he needs. We'll try to look for the kill on the Visal, but Visal's the one who holds with the glue. But then again, 4 people dead. Rustin gets taken down by Nishchan here. And once again, a Team Untitled with a little bit of that comeback. Glue will be taken down easily by 5 members of Team Untitled as they are gonna be taking down the base in game number 2.
Team Untitled. Harris even lost his life. They're really excited. But Team Untitled, they proved the tides wrong once again. And looks like they might just be the team that can force a game number 3 against all odds. It really looked like Ryuga would be able to immediately bounce back with those few good pickoffs that they were able to make. But man, they proved Ryuga wrong, and they were able to force a game number 3. And we are back with our, of course, beautiful host here, Peachy. We're back again. I love that. I love that we all are wearing like suits and staring into the screen. We are judging the viewers. Like, are you liking the stream? Hey, come on, subscribe to the channel, subscribe, and support IGC. But yeah, back with our host, Peachy.
Hello guys, and with on that note, do join the Discord, the WhatsApp, all the links are mentioned onto the description. Do check it out. Back again onto the match. What a game coming in from the side of Team Untitled. Totally bonkers. This game I really felt like there was no force pick. This is the game where they could each and every member of the side of Team Untitled could shine on. What about you guys? This game, I really didn't want to look at the jaw head, but it was there and it worked out so perfectly. Was expecting a Suyu onto the second game, onto the side of team Rayuga Esports, and we got a Sayu. Unfortunately, he did not get a pathway. What could have done something better, Sarah?
Honestly, I feel it's just the fact that Team Untitled got a little more advantage while on their comfort heroes, while Team Rayuga, they just tried to play around the meta. It was their comfort, obviously it was, but then again, the thing is that Suyo, he is weak around magic damage, and that is why he could not really commit to taking down the Sicilian or the Harith during the major team fights, and that is why that's where the magic damage came out on top. Like they like to say, it's a magic damage meta. So obviously, the Sicilian and the Harith had the upper hand, and that's where things went uphill for the side of Untitled.
That's
Absolutely.
true. That's true. What about you, Ray? What are your thoughts on that?
Magic is OP, man. Come on, because it's magic. Like it's literally a joke. Like, how do you do it? It's magic. And I feel like I just feel like Ryuka's draft was good, was decent. I mean, not decent. It was actually really good. They had a lot of comfort picks, but a few nitpicks I have is, of course, I really prefer Kimi into the goal lane. I feel like they needed someone to dominate the goal lane a little bit better. I feel like Kimi is so much better into mid lane. But even if you take into account that Kimi did really well fare against 3-4 people, like invading her lane so much so often, there was also, of course, Kalia backing her up many times. But yeah, I feel like Maybe the Kimi was picked up a little bit too early for the goal lane. I feel like they need to keep the goal lane in the check. That's the only suggestion I would give for the draft. Other than that, I feel like rest everything was perfect. It just that the execution did not fall off short. It just that Untitled this time around played much better. It was much stronger. Of course, Daki getting the Sicilian, it was pretty evident, as well as the fact that Harris, of course, popped off late game so much. Too much damage for Ryuga to be taking in. Glue and Kali are not the most tankiest of tanks. I'm gonna be honest about it, right? Glue
True.
is of course EXP laner, kind of a tank, and on the other hand, you have Kalia, who's not exactly a tank at all. She's a support. She's more into the lines of something along a Minotaur. Yeah, a Minotaur, and Minotaur is not the tankiest hero, and I think Kalia is actually squishier than that. So I think they were not able to take any of the damage. They had great pick off, but after the pick off, Kalia gets picked off, or at least someone else gets picked off, and after that, losing one or two members, it's just a numbers game. Once you lose the numbers game, you ultimately lose the team fights. Chocolate Chan played very conservative game, making sure that he was not taken down too many times after a few early two blunders. But what can you do? It's a CEO. At most, it's to go for the objectives. But even then, Kaimiku on this Bakshia, as Sarah mentioned, it's notorious. Absolutely was completely able to get multiple of the objectives taken from him. The only one he could not take was, of course, the one that he wanted to go for a steal. But yeah, overall, I feel like this was not much of a draft issue. It was more of the fact that two comfort heroes for the hands of Untitled and great execution from their hands.
I agree. And top of that, even though the Suyu did not get the snowball going on, he really tried his best to get the farm going on, making sure that the whole team would be accommodating, that they won't be on the losing side, even though. But the team fights, some team fights, it was there into the hands of Team Ryuga, some they were not. But the times that they were not the late game, I believe that was the time they should have been extra careful.
I agree
Absolutely.
with that. Yeah, exactly. And the fact that UT was actually getting picked off in the mid game, if you notice, especially by Rocco on that Kalia, that he got picked off twice and Harith once. But they learned their lesson. And from then on, the Jawhead, he was constantly around the Harith to provide vision and try to protect, while the Baxia was around Daki. Badang, obviously, you can just leave him alone to be. He's a tanky little man. He will be able to survive. And that is exactly that 2-2-1 setup that Untitled did and defended their lanes very, very well. And on towards just the last minute before the game ended, Rocco just went in for a full charge onto the Sicilian because she did not have the Purify. But he did not realize that his team was just a little too far behind to try and provide the backup in terms of damage to try and take her down. That is where the mistake happened. Rocco went in too deep. He got melted by the Harriet as well as the Sicilian because of the wishing
Mhm.
lantern, and that is where things went downhill for the side of Rayuga. Otherwise, they were holding out so very strong.
True. They had it on their base. They had it on their hands as well. But unfortunately, I did not wanted to see that the late wipeouts, because 18 minutes into the game, 20 minutes into the game, it becomes so crucial that if you lose your life, the cooldowns are quite high. You cannot make a comeback unless you have the lord, you have the turrets on your side. Having quite at least the tier 2 turrets could help you to actually bounce back, but they just lost the time. They just lost every possible thing in just few seconds. Members falling down like pinballs, plus Glue trying to go in for the Bakshi at the last moment. I feel like he should have stuck with the team. He should have went in for a little bit of a support while Kimi was trying to escape. Nishan with the flicker, he knew he had to do it. Nishan knew if this is like the do or die moment, if he doesn't get it, it's going to the game's gonna get extended. That's going to be a little bit of a successful defense, given the fact that they do have a good lane clear. So other than that, and also the main highlight though, Shane jumping in like he knew no minions are there, like he had to do it. And with that, here are the scoreboard.
Chocolate.
Yep. Chocolate
Oh
Stan's
my.
items.
Oh
Very
my.
pretty. The perfectly orange color combination with the Kalia. Green and orange goes well together, guys. Respect. But then again, obviously, in terms of kills, Untitled wins it nearly double of what Ryuga has. But Rustin on the Kimi, job well done with the amount of damage that he was dealing.
Hmm.
But obviously, Sicilian and Harith can out damage that, and Harith is just going to be behind you in one moment and you won't even be able to realize it. That's just what happened. Job well done by Ryuga, but a better job done by Untitled. That's just how this match went.
Exactly. We've been discussing it. It's not that Ryuga played bad. There was honestly there is not much fault you can like flaw you can like take it. You have to be very nitpicky. Like oh you should have played Kimi into the mid lane, but that's way too nitpicky because Kimi still works into the gold lane. It's not a bad pick at all in any form, in any shape or form, right? So I feel like if
Exactly.
you gotta be really nitpicky, only then you can find issues with the draft. Overall, this was a very good draft. It's just that on the other hand, this time around, Untitled finally found their pace with, of course, the Badang. Of course, I mean, not having two healers, I was a little bit doubtful of it, but they really made it work around because both of them completely went in for the back line, made sure that Rocco as well as even Chocolate Chan did not find the space to work around with it.
That's true. And with that, let's go into the game number three, guys. What a game. 1-for-1 score right now on to the scoreboard. While both of these teams are on a, upper hand. Both. Not one, but both. I'm really loving how the matches are going around. And another day, another third match. Now this is going to get exciting, so do share it with you guys. Do get in and do make your prediction, audience, because we would love to hear your prediction. Is it going to be Ryuga Esports or is it going to be Team Untitled? With that, you know, coming back onto the game number two,
Hmm.
Louis. I really love the pick of the Louis. They just wanted to, get more space out of the map, but it did work out. It did work out, but something was just missing for me. I can't point it out, but I feel like something was missing for them.
There were no diversion plays.
Oh, sad enough. That's sad enough.
Exactly. Like you pick up a hero thinking that you do this and that with it. But unfortunately, the way that Untitled were already having the map control and the domination because of the Badang as well as the Bakshia just rolling around as a ball, the Loi just didn't have enough space to try and look for a proper diversion to play around.
Oh, they could have made that TikTok play though. They had Kalia in the team.
Exactly. And yeah, even yesterday, I am sure I saw the somewhere that Kalia and the Loi getting picked up together. Even there, they did try. It didn't work out. That's a different story. They did try to do it though.
Yep, and with that, diving into the game number three, guys. Ray and Sarah, once again, take it away. You guys are doing well.
thank you, Vici. Thank you for carrying us. Thank you for carrying me on the first game, right? But jokes aside, this is going to be game number three, and let's just dive in, Sarah. Are we going to be seeing a Baksheb? And I just want to ask you.
It is quite possible, because like Untitled, they are respecting the Lucas from the first game and they ban it out from game number two and even in this one. So Ryuga, taking a little bit note of that, they might just ban out on the Baxia this time around.
It's possible, right? I feel like they gotta respect it. I think Ryuga gotta respect it. At least, but Untitled might just first pick it because, I mean, it worked out so well. Why not do it? But at the same time, it might be a little bit too predictable, right? But yeah, there we go again with very similar bands. Stephanie and Lucas, of course, after the first game, it's not gonna be seeing the day of the light of the day. What am I saying? But yeah, also gonna get banned out. I'm really curious if the Kalia or Zushin is gonna be left out, though. I would love my wife to be banned because only I get to use her, right? I mean, Sarah, you agree, right? Only the husband should get to use the wife. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. That's a wrong way to put it though, but okay, I agree with you.
No, it's the right way. Come on. It's the right way. It's the
Hey,
right way.
don't objectify women. You don't use them
No,
to
it's not
pamper.
objectifying. It's not objectifying. You know, I can use her skills, right? Yeah. But
Okay,
there we go.
okay,
The higher band. What's it going to be?
whatever you
Kalia or
say, mate.
Zushin?
Whatever you say, we are going to be seeing the Hayabusa band once again, and they're going to be the Matilda band coming in from the side of Ryuga once more. I can't really see Matilda's eyes though, but then again, I do think they are going to be banning out on Kalia or Glue or even maybe the Jawhead or the Sicilian. Just try to deny one of those picks from Untitled.
It's pretty possible. But let's just see. Let's just see what's the last ban. Ryuga, what decision do they want to go for? Because I feel like Untitled has picked up Kalia before, right? So they can pick up the Kalia for themselves, especially if you're a Jawhead player. I just feel like Kalia is your best in slot. But at the same time, let's just see what they work around with, because Jawhead is so much more tankier that perhaps it might. Oh, okay, they pay respect to Daki. They don't want any of that vampire business. Don't want that slap to the face with that vampire clause, right? So two options left are open. Untitled, what do you go for? If you pick up the Zushin, the Kalia is gone. If you pick up the Kalia, the Zushin is gone. And if you don't pick up anything, both of them are gone, because I don't think Ryuga is gonna let it slip out.
Exactly. That's quite the good thing you mentioned right there. But once again, on the hands of Untitled, are they going to be locking in the Harriet early on so that Rustin does not get a chance to deny it from them? But in this type, I called it! I did not mean to, but there we
Ah.
go.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Two of my favorite wives. I mean favorite female characters. One is a wife, one is a new one. But yeah, jokes aside, I feel like giving out two really power picks into the hands of Ryuga, I feel like it's a little bit too recent of the first game. Giving out Zushin, it basically means that your frontliner is gonna be seeing hell. Okay, if you give out Zushin, forget frontliners, because the only possible way you can the only possible way you can go for Zushin is to either overwhelm her completely with a lot of dashes so she cannot pick up a target, or an assassin. But right now you have banned out the Hayabusa, and of course the Fanny's not into play either. Ling is a little bit too squishy to pick up buff for yourself, and Lancelot is not fast enough. And there we go. Zushin immediately picked up. I just love her. She's so gorgeous. But yeah, Kalia's still open though. Like, would
Exactly.
either of the side pick it up, or they're like, we had enough of fish business, or Sakura business to be precise?
No one likes Sakura, man. It's
I
like,
love her.
hey, you're just one of them who loves her, okay? But then again, worldwide, she's just unloved. She deserves better, but okay, let's just not talk about the lore here and talk about the picks instead. Denying that Badang pick right away, Team Ryuga Esports decides to insta-lock it along with the Jukshin. So good decision right there. The walls are going to be coming in quite well, along with the Lantern Flare and knockups. So UT here, they really need to think of a way to counter that, and they read my mind, picks up the Phobius right away along with the Baxia. Those are two very, very strong front lines along with the Harriet, and now they just need a mage with enough shred to try and lock in onto that mid lane so that they can just burst out the Badang as well as the Jukshin in terms of damage.
Yeah, and also the fact that Phobius is actually, this guy is honestly really overpowered, and it's a criminal thing. Come on, developers, give this guy a skin. How does minions get skin before this dude? This is insane. Come on, guys, give him a skin. But yeah, the main
Exactly.
main point is that he's one of those fighters that is actually not exactly that weak to Zushin, for a simple reason. He jumps around, so he's a kind of a hard target for Zushin to pick up, and it's gonna
And
be
the fact
really,
is,
yeah.
exactly, and that Phobius is like a direct counter for the Badang because every single
Yes.
Badang passive is going to trigger his ultimate and his passive stack. So definitely it is going to be looking very interesting here onto the EXP matchup. And once again, I think we can see the Florian getting banned out once more. Obviously, they do not want to give it away along with the Bakshia. On the
hmm
hand of Untitled, I do think they will be banning out on the Glue or even maybe the Hylos.
I think the Hylos will most likely be the possibility. You don't want the double slow combination coming in from a Zushin and Hylos, right? So I think it possibly going to be a Hylos ban. On to the next one. I don't think they're going to target Chocolate Chan. I feel like they will probably go in for another utility to make sure that Ryuga Esports doesn't have any kind of wiggle or space room, because they already have. Oh no, they are actually doing the reverse. They're paying respect to Chocolate Chan, trying to choke him down even more as they take one of his signature pick. I would not be surprised if the Diroth is the next ban, honestly. But let's just see. On to the other hand, the Ryuga Esports so far. Yep, Zushin is amazing. Of course, she's my wife. But the second thing is that two really hefty frontliners, and Kimi is not the strongest, not until she gets the melting item that she really needs. On the other hand, the Harith is. Starlim side through damage is something to be reckoned with. So I feel like this time around, two hefty frontliners, the Kimi again. I feel like it's going to be a bad decision, but hey, I want to be proven wrong, just like I was proven wrong into the previous game, where Untitled was able to get the win, the dub. But let's see. Last ban. Is it going to be a Deroth? What do you think?
I do think that they are going to try and mark down Chocolate Chan, but instead they go in for the Carmilla ban. Carmilla, yeah,
Interesting.
she is definitely good on the roam, but against these kind of tanks, though, I am a bit skeptical
Yeah.
about their ban. The high loss would have been better, and even just target banning Chocolate Chance Derot would have been better. So, yeah, then again, maybe they have some kind of a plan in mind to try and pick up a
Yeah.
healer. Maybe, just maybe. But then again, this does leave the high loss wide open for Vishal to picking up. It's looking quite tempting at the moment.
Yeah, Vishal, you gotta pick up the horse, and he does, because there is just no absolute better option. You have the initiation, you have the slow, and of course you got the tankiness. And I feel like I highly agree with you. Untitled, I'm not sure who's your coach, because that is one horrible ban. Because I don't see any possibility. Why would you want to ban out unless they want to go in for a chip? I feel like that's the only possible way where it would make sense. Other than that, I don't see it, because honestly, if right now Derot is locked in, Baksha is not going to be surviving anything, because Derot's penetration is not something you can joke about. Tanks do not survive the next day. And also the fact that Rayuga can pick it up, it's an option for them. Derot's penetration will be very hefty. But let's see. The only possible I see is a Louis or maybe a chip. That's the only possible reason I would see why you'd want to ban out the Carmilla, to eliminate the chance. But even then, even if you ban out the Carmilla, the Hylos was just gonna be left out open. So I feel like, yeah, it's a little bit LL on both ends. But let's see. Untitled surprise me. I would love to be surprised, because I would love to see, of course, a really strong contention. But no, they actually go in for. Is this a Eve or Louis? I feel like it's a Louis, because of course in the previous game it was glitched out, so I feel like it's most likely gonna be a Louis. And the Jawhead back again, and there we go. Oh, okay, Alpha makes sense.
Alpha. And
You
if
need
and
true
you know what?
damage.
Exactly, they need the true damage. But then again, if that is actually a Eve pick coming in from the side of Untitled, then that Alpha is just going to be using the Spirit of Alpha as a method of
Just to run away,
suicide.
yeah.
He dives into the real world manipulation, and he gets tossed and turned around and locked in into that chessboard, different domain altogether. And obviously, Joker is on the Jawhead once more, so those ejector plays are going to be coming in very handy.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see if it's gonna be a Eve or a Louis. If it's a Eve, yeah, it's he's not gonna be he is not gonna be in doing any initiations, right? So yeah, I think we're gonna be seeing the results quite soon. But till then, if the Alpha pick though, if of course makes sense, they needed a shredder. They don't have a single HP pool shredder, and the true damage is so hefty for themselves. Let's see how it works out. So far, the drafts are looking strong, and we're gonna be heading straight into the game any second. And there we go.
Welcome to the land of Dodd, game number 3, the tiebreaker. And as we can see, a 1-1 score for both of these teams. Excellent gameplay being shown in both of these games so far. Team Rayuga dominating game number 1, and Team Untitled with an equally strong comeback in game number 2. What will be the result of game number 3, ladies and gentlemen? Drop your predictions in the chat, because we are in for a ride.
Absolutely, and right indeed, because what's happening? Kaimikyu gets punished immediately.
No. What is going on? Why the early initiation kind go? You do not want to do that to your team. Don't make this any harder than it already is. But look at Joker! He is also going to be caught out very low and gets taken down right away with the Spirit of Alpha. Rayuga this time not leaving any chances for the side of Untitled to do anything in this game.
Absolutely. And it's not looking good. It's not really looking good for themselves. But let's just see how it works out. Already 2 kills into Rayuga, and the Alpha is looking very hefty. But at least they have Daki. Daki needs to be level 4 before we can see some impact. But until then, the Alpha already showing the snowball 101, and the turtle fight is going to be coming in any second right now. And yeah, I think we're going to be seeing the results of this Alpha pick. I mean, it's Chocolate Chan. He's going to be showing, I mean, especially the Alpha, Honestly, I'm gonna be honest. Alpha is one of the junglers that makes it easy. Look at him, another kill off cam.
Just Ryuga being Ryuga. They're probably saying that he gave you a chance in game number 2. Don't jump around too much. And look at that, the glorious pathway along with the real world manipulation gets taken in right away in that team fight. Phobia's trying to get the pokes, gets Rocco. While Visal is also going to be caught out very low, and Kanko finds the double onto Visal as well as Chocolate Chan. That means the turtle is going to be wide open for the side of Untitled. That is the real world manipulation I was talking about. You dive in with an alpha, and she opens that real world manipulation on you. But the Purify used up a little too late by his kill and will be taken down right away by Kaimku. Perfect answer for that killing spree, but he is going in for the red though. There's the stun, there's the Spirit of Alpha. They are trying to deal some damage. Folius with the damage right there. Visal gets the shutdown onto Kaimku, the bit of an overextension. The glorious pathway used up just to slow them down. Not the best decision right there by the Baxia. Daki with the flicker play trying to get Visal onto that turret, but not enough damage. He had the shield to protect himself, and he will be living to see another day.
The score is completely equalized, and I love it because it right now the score is 1-1 as well on to the best of 3 series. So both of these teams are going full on neck to neck, and oh, top lane Vishal.
He is going in for a one. Okay, that's actually a 1v2 being done by Nischan, and he is doing quite well. But Alpha, he has the War Axe, and he is dealing a large amount of that true damage. So obviously, Nischan gets taken down, but on towards the bottom side, we can see the Zaman Force getting used up. The Real Manipulation right on spot, but the Purify will be saving Rustin's life today. Kaimku trying to go in for the engage. Joker goes in with the flicker play, will fall prey to that over-aggression in the early game itself. Jushin with those knockups onto Kaimku. Kaimku trying to look for an escape, just dealing damage because he knows that he has no way out of this, while Shane tries to take down the tier 1. But obviously it's a Harith in the early game. There's not enough damage on him, nor does he have the ultimate, so they will have to back off and settle for that 2-1 trade.
5-7 the score sets. Ryuga Esports, at least this time around, they have the early game snowball that they really desperately needed on the previous game, and they're looking strong. But at the same time, it's been shown again that Untitled, oh, there comes the throw.
There's the ejector play onto Chocolate Chan, but he manages to escape, and there comes the flicker play from Visal instead, along with the glorious partner. Elston gets the finds onto, gets the kill onto Joker right away. Nishan trying to go up and down on that. Fulfius, he does, and Daki manages to find a kill onto Rustin instead. Daki doing a fantastic job this game of poking down the enemies, locking them down in a real world manipulation. Mad respect to her. But then again, a team Ryuga isn't stepping back anytime soon, and they are still holding their lead in their favor, even though the goal lead is a tad bit in favor of Team Untitled. But then again, how long will it be really alive? They managed to secure the turtle, because obviously Alpha didn't come to contest it because he was caught out pretty low.
2 turtles already into the hands of Untitled, and the goal lead is going to be climbing slightly. Only been, what, under 6 minutes, and they have already 1.8k goal lead. Oh, no. Okay, not 1k goal lead. 1k goal lead. And that's pretty impressive because it's going to be climbing as we progress into the game. Right now, they're going towards the bottom lane, of course, to try to take out the turret, or onto the top lane. Alpha is possibly trying to do the same, and Nishan gets taken down as well. They make another trade. There's the ejector.
Look at the glorious pathway being used up, but it won't be enough to save Rocco's life. A double knockup coming in by ace kill. But what will a Jukshin really do when your enemy is so tanky? Along with Daki, she tries to go in for the engage, uses up the rear manipulation, gets immobilized, but Kimi right in the middle of all of it, and Badan with the killing spree right there. But Joker goes in for another rejector play, finds Visal, and Shane finds the shutdown onto him. Shane on a 2-0-2, he's on a roll. He is going to be dealing so much damage right from this moment. He does have the Starlium skate and is almost done with the Feather of Heaven. So, Team Untitled still looking pretty strong.
Absolutely, and that is the main danger, and that basically shifts the priority target completely. Right now, Ryuga Esports, you cannot really keep taking down Nishan every time. Your main target needs to shift towards the hands of course, Shane, but he has a flicker, so it has to be. I feel like Jushin needs to play in for the aggressive, make CC him and force him to go out with the flicker, and that's when the moment they have to come back from behind and take him down, because if they do not, one more kill, this guy is going to be on a killing spree with a lot of bounty. But there comes the fisting.
Look at Visal, he is trying to take down Joker in the middle of all of it, along with the glorious pathway coming in by Rocco, but quite a lot of damage being dealt out by the side of Rayuga. Daki in a little bit of a bad positioning there, loses her life to easy kill, as well as Rustin. Shane with a killing spree onto Rocco as an answer, but Chocolate Chan finds the double, killing Joker as well as Kaimku, leaving the turtle wide open for Team Rayuga to take down. Not the best of trades once again. That was 3 for 1 because Shane and Nishan chased down the high loss. And that's a roam. While
Mhm.
the rest of them actually took down the main characters, Daki Joker, as well as their jungler, right in the mid lane. So definitely that's a bad trade coming in from the side of Untitled right there.
Yeah, but the only thing that they still have, to be feel comfortable in is Shane 302. This guy has not been taken down even once, but he might be the next target. But nah, they don't have enough members, and of course they are well aware going deep into the enemy territory, it's just gonna be not proven that much effective. So far, they're trying to rotate together they're doing for the 4-1 rotation that they really love to do, and of course Chocolate Chan is gonna be onto the far lane, trying to push out or at least get defend the turrets if there's any split push that could be coming in. But I think the only thing that they need to watch out is, of course, the ejector play that has been coming in from Joker. Ezekiel is the main target because, of course, they're really trying to make sure that her Purify at least gets used up or gets taken down. So let us see how it works out so far. The score is 9-13. Goal lead is not that much. It's basically quite same, 25-26. 1k difference, under 10 minutes. And this is the last game, the last stretch. And so far, Ryoga Esports has 3 points because they got a clean sweep that day. But tonight, it's not going to be no more clean sweeps for them. So let's see if they get the win or they have to face the first defeat.
Exactly. So, Team Untitled, on the other hand, known for their reverse sweeps like they did yesterday against Eternity, and it was a job well done. Look at Shane, though, he is trying to go in for that turret, but unaware. Rocco is going to be charging in from the back line. Joker has to flicker out, gets caught out by Kimmy's ultimate along with the Spirit of Alpha. Rustin Cole right there takes down Joker right away. Besides the flicker play onto the back line, tries to take down Shane. Shane has to flicker out. Will it be enough? He tries to take down Rustin Cole right there, but Maxia with the ball rolling in onto from the backside, but will be caught out wildly under that turret by Badang's walls. Not the best decision coming in. A little bit of a mechanic gap being shown by the side of Rayuga as a Team Untitled just failed to make the outplay they could have done had they had any bit better resources. But then again, it was a pretty even team fight in terms of damage, so we'll really have to see how a little bit more of that late game plays out.
Absolutely, and right now the score is 11-16. That trade was not into their favor because right now this is a green signal for them to really commit to the Lord, because even if Kaimiku has resurrected, I think they can melt it down. But so far, really good distraction, but look at that into the mid lane.
But, Joker gets caught out. A mega kill for that Alpha, but Shane comes in with the demand force, finds Chocolate Chan, gets the shutdown, gets the double. Wrong engage by Rocco right there, wasting that glorious pathway right before the Lord, which means that now Team Untitled will have a free access to the Lord. No jungler for the side of Rayuga, and they're all going to be taken down very low, and they will have to move back to their base while Untitled gets the Lord in their hands, gets the goal lead back into their hands, and now will be looking for a free push along with the Lord right there.
Full on Uno reverse is what Team Untitled just called it. The Un stands for Uno, because what was that? It felt like this slot was going to be into their favor, but the team fight completely shifted, and I feel like the RWM was just so perfectly done by Daki. Kudos to him. And right now, the game completely shifted. Just literally a few seconds ago, Rayuga was the one taking the lead. Looks like they were the one getting the Lord, but nah. Right now, Team Untitled just said nah to the fate, and they have the Lord. They can charge in, take down the tier 2, perhaps even a mid one, but so far, really great defense coming in from Rayuga. They're really great at defending when they're not taken down completely, and that's what Untitled is going to be aiming for. If they're able to take down at least 3 of the members this time around, they can go completely in. Shane is fully farmed up. 5-1-5, right? 5-6-6-1-3. I'm sorry, I'm seeing it a little bit smaller, yeah. But yeah. Lord walks in. It gets taken down as well. Oh, not Lord, it's Madara. Madara gets taken down. Mid tier 1 also gone. Shane will get the purple buff. A lot of resources getting exchanged, and the gold lead will rise up for the hands of Untitled. Do they want to go in? Do they want to commit? It does look like it could be brewing, but both walk away. Don't want to take risk, and we'll play the game of patience again as we wait for another engage.
And also, I'd just like to clarify, right, that Taki is a she, by the way. She might just be the she made standard of India, if you know what I mean. And look at
Damn.
that, the ejector along with the RWM right in the middle of it. Shane gets the killing spree along with Visar getting taken down pretty low. And he has to pop the flicker but will not survive. Shane on towards the backline tries to get his kill. Has to pop out the ultimate to get the shield to survive. Rustin dealing the damage he needs to deal, but it is not enough. Shane is out damaging him, and the poke coming in from the RWM is just too much. Look at the flicker play coming in by Shane right away. Gets the Zaman Force, gets the Alpine onto the backside points. The double
No
is the only
way.
one left open. Is he going to be able to defend this? He does not have the HP. Shane is going to be taking him down. They are locking in on the base. Oh, it's only the high loss trying to protect, but no! Untitled. They do it again. 2-1. The second victory in day 3.
Untitled just doesn't stop, do they? Reverse sweep might just change the name to reverse sweep, but hey, it might be a little bit too obvious for their opponent. So yeah, keeping it untitled is going to be much better. And man, Daki, I'm gonna say it. I feel like both games Daki was such a really strong presence that I feel like Raiga was just not prepared to be dealing with, and it clearly showed. It clearly showed. And we're back with our host, Peachy. What do you think? Untitled gave the first defeat to Ryuga in this wildcard stage.
That's true. That's true. Looks like onto the side of Team Ryoga Esports, they have been having that clean sweep moment for themselves that has been broken. So again, you know right now they know where they stand because of this match, one alone match. I believe that they know what is the problem, what could be doing something better. But what a match coming in from the side of Team Untitled. They have completely blown our minds.
Yeah, definitely.
And
Just wow.
true, that's true. And top of that, I really loved how the Harriet was playing around continuously. Game number one, game number two, game number three as well.
This was an exciting series, honestly. I mean, of course, I was rooting for Ryuga. Not just I'm well acquainted. I wanted to see another clean sweep, but oh damn, Untitled here. They showed again that the first game is a warm up for them. I would not be surprised if they lose another first game in the next round robin. I would not be surprised and make it another reverse sweep, because if they do it, this might be a really good identity for them. Like, I mean, that's what BTK did, right? They became the standard. I mean, they could be the standard as well. I mean, being a wildcard team and going off so strong, it's really impressive. I really loved it. What do you, Sarah? What do you think, Sarah?
Yeah, I definitely agree with what you two said, and the fact that we were talking right from the beginning of the series that Untitled might actually go in for that 2-1 kind of reverse sweep like they did yesterday. They did it definitely again today. And giving in the second match, they made a mistake by giving Taki the Sicilian, right? She played her comfort, but in the third game, they respect banned her. But to what avail? She just picked up on the eve and just said, Uno reverts, boys. I know you better than you know me. And that's exactly what she did. So perfect RWMs there. I definitely have to say those RWMs. Just the domain of suicide for the Alpha to jump in. So a little bit of a
Mm-hmm.
mistcraft there coming in by the side of Ryuga and just smarter plays coming in from the side of Untitled.
Yeah, yeah. I also think is that I think they trusted Vishal. It's not that Vishal played bad. They basically trusted the high loss. They thought that once RW comes in, high loss would be able to charge in with the glorious pathway. But of course, it's on the chance of hypothetical. It's a if Hylos is able to do it, right? And it just did not come into fruition because the positioning of Daki was just really immaculate, and they could not find her in like on the on the second series. Yes, Daki was being caught out by those flicker surprise plays, but this time around there was nobody who could do that. And because of it, Daki was in a such more comfortable position that Hylos Glorious Pathway is just not something that she has to be afraid of, and it's pretty clear. We just saw it.
That's true. And on top of that, that's the essence of you. You cannot catch her. If the position's very good, she is going to slow you down. And slow is something that Team Untitled needed. They pointed out perfectly. They picked it out perfectly. That is how they got Team Ryuga Esports. I really love how they've been playing around, even with the pick of a Jawhead. Again and again, somewhere along the lines, this is like a 50-50 pick for them. Yes, it's a comfort pick for Joker, but some games it's really not working for them.
There we go. The result screen is here. 13 minutes, 3 seconds. And Shane, I feel like he got really put under the rug for Ryuga, because I think they were just not able to catch him up to him at all. I know Daki here being the highlight, especially considering the fact that they were able to, of course, they were able to prioritize so many of these team fights for Daki alone. But yeah, they were not able to catch up to Shane at all. 10-1-4, he was only taken down once, and that once happened on fourth kill, I think. After that, he was back onto the monster kill again, and there was nobody to shut him down because, of course, back to Daki again. And I don't think I feel like there's this time around though. I feel like Ryuga's draft was a little bit weaker. They played into a little bit too much on the predictability. Also, that alpha pick as well as the Hylos pick, it was on the if they can go in on the if, but not on the will they be able to do so. And of course, Untitled, they came around really strong, and I feel like the Bakshia also gotta give it out to Bakshia.
And one more thing, I believe somewhere this is where Team Ryuga Esports lack against a tank jungler. Game number 2, same case. Game number 3, same case. They have been facing every single time. They have been facing the assassin jungler so far, the fighter jungler so far. They have been performing phenomenally when that's coming around. But when it comes to the tank junglers, they are struggling. So I think that that's something they should be working around, and I really would love to see again if they are able to get it or not.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Sarah, what do you
exactly.
think?
And honestly, I feel in the both games, it was Rocco who threw a bit, because in the second match, that Kalia engaged the Sicilian, that that's where the whole thing turned around. He overengaged too far ahead of his team, and even in this game, he wasted his glorious pathway right before the Lord, and Shane and Bakshia came and just turned it around. So both the times, it was just Ryuga over engaging with that aggressiveness, and that's where things started to fall apart for them. But that's maybe just coincidental, but then again, they do rely on Rocco's setups the most, and maybe that's just not working out for them today. But obviously, we're gonna wish these two teams more luck, because obviously there's only two teams out of four who will qualify to the next round.
Absolutely.
Excited to see which team would be. As we are closing down to the wildcard stages, we are just like few days away knowing which team would be making out. There were two groups, and it's just the third day. The excitement build-up is definitely there, coming in from both of these teams who just played very good right from the game number. Yep. And with that, I really want to see how game number 2 goes around. And with that, let's go for a short break. Till then, let's get ready up for the game number 2 and be hydrated, guys. Take care. See you guys.
Goodbye.
दिक्कत देने वाला है। थोड़ा सा फिर से यहाँ पर लौट आएंगे, अंदर जाएंगे पॉपअप। दिक्कत देने वाला है। थोड़ा सा फिर से यहाँ पर लौट आएंगे, अंदर जाएंगे पॉपअप। ज़्यादा दिक्कत देने वाला है। थोड़ा सा फिर से यहाँ पर लौट आएंगे, अंदर जाएंगे परफेक्ट। ज़्यादा दिक्कत देने वाला है थोड़ा सा। फिर से यहाँ पर लौट आएंगे, अंदर जाएंगे पॉपअप।
Oh, hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are back again for the second best of three series for today. Welcome to the Mythic Showdown Season 1 presented by Indian Gaming Corps. We have two teams who are going to be playing. The second game is Vox X Venom versus Team DS in this best of three series. And of course, into the casting deck, we have Asuya, she's back here, and Solski, who's going to be taking us to the game and the drafting phase as well. So, what are your feelings, Asaya? You are back after a long time.
Well, I'm definitely excited, Debbie, since just like you mentioned, it's been a while since I've been here. And
Mhm.
of course, I've been missing casting for the teams because it's always really, new things happen.
Mhm.
So, pretty exciting. At the same time, IGC, one of the organizations which I've been casting for a lot. So,
Yeah.
yeah, really happy to be here today.
Very understandable, and we are happy to have you back again. So, yeah, we have to go for Solski though. This guy, I've seen him everywhere, but yeah. How do you feel?
I mean, first of all, I'm excited for two specific reasons. First is this match that is going to between DS and Venom. I mean, we all know these teams are how much they are going to play in this tournament. I mean, this tournament has gave us so many new faces. Just look at the UT Untitled in the last match and against the Ryu. Ryu is also a very good team. And DS, I think we have known DS from quite a while, and along with Venom as well. And the second reason that I'm also excited to for this game is because I'm here with two beautiful women. So that's why. So
I
yes,
see
tell
him.
me what are your thoughts about? I mean,
Oh,
just give
about
us your
me?
thoughts about this of the team, by the way.
For me, though, I think I was actually flabbergasted to see that Ryuga Esports losing to UT. But we, like you mentioned, I think we are seeing some heroes are not heroes. What am I saying? We are seeing
Mm,
some gods popping off, right? So
mhm.
this is gonna be another interesting match. So yeah, I really want to see who's gonna be getting better, who's gonna be the best at what they are gonna be doing. But one thing is for sure is that this is gonna be an epic class because like you mentioned, a well-known team, Venom and DS, they have been they have been here for quite a long time. So they're
Mm.
gonna be very, very used to what the tournament scene is gonna be. So I can't wait anymore because yeah, we have to see what their draft is gonna be. But before that, I think, do you have any insights or what their meta is gonna be, Asuya?
Well, Debbie, first of all, I really want to think that since these are the early stages of the tournament, and we
Mm-hmm.
usually see pretty fast-paced games, and teams
Mm.
like either they test the waters in the first game and they get serious from the second or for the third game, or they just, play it the way they have their play style. Either they are pretty disciplined or they go in for that precision control, like aggressiveness right from the beginning. So one thing which I'm really looking forward from this match is how these teams are going to play. How will their play style be? Because that's something which will describe that how these teams will be carrying themselves on ahead further in the tournament.
Yeah, that's actually true. A very good insight as well. But Solsky, do you have anything to add to that?
I mean, as you just said, I mean, she just point out very very good points. And personally, I think these teams have been there, as you mentioned, for a very quite long time, but they're getting still struggling to get the top spot in, I would say, in any of the tournaments. But so maybe this
Yeah.
is a new beginning, so they might be able to pull it off in this tournament, maybe. And as for the drafting point of view, I think whoever gets this, they're going for, I think, the Sakura. And people are
Oh,
loving,
Sakura.
I would say, what. Pickoffs draft. Look, we are looking at the, I would say, a revolution in roaming section because have you ever thought that you will see a Jawhead in playing an MPL ID or
Mm,
even anywhere else? I
mm.
mean, we have seen that now because Jawhead has been a wonderful roaming option, and people are going for pickoffs. Or either if they want to go for set, they're gonna go for some high mobility set heroes like the Badang and other things. But now maybe I think we are moving on to the draft. So give your quick insights.
Yep. Yep, that was a very, very detailed insight from casters, ladies and gentlemen. We are getting into the drafting phase, and this is where I'm going to be giving it to Asuya and Solsky. Please take it away.
Well, thank
Uh,
you for that, Debbie. And we guys, we got a wonderful analysis from all the way from Ish. That's the Debbie for you. So yeah. What so let's just ask you from the beginning. What do you think will be the ban here? Because the first pick I think will be of DS right now.
well, since there are so many changes, so many buffs and nerfs received recently, and we do see a lot of heroes being picked. New heroes, especially Kimmy. I, sincerely believe Kimmy and Lucas are one of those heroes which are highly irritating. They can literally, Kimmy especially can melt down the tank if there is no one to check up on her. So maybe these are the kind of bans which we will be seeing. And what do you think? Will we
Hmm.
also see a Fanny, Kalia?
Color is banned. Now the Lucas is also banned. I think that's a Lucas, right? And yes, that's the 3D model for you guys. So Kalea is banned from Venom, so they don't want to give over the pick off to the team DS. DS has gone for the Lucas ban because they don't want to pick the Lucas themselves. I would say I think they just, the starting ban. I think they could have focused on something else, in my opinion, because maybe Venom had something in mind that they might ban the Lucas. So that means you might have the full three bans in your hands, and you just wasted that one ban in the Lucas ban. Maybe. I mean, this all are the possibilities. So they are focusing on the jungling ban, the DS, because they don't want to give jungle to the side of Team Venom right now. And so far, forth, I think I just know a few familiar faces from DS because I think they were doing scrims against some teams. I guess that's the Yamraj, the mid laner for Team DS. Jazz, I know him. And for the side of Team Venom, I think they are the new faces in the town. Or maybe my bad. I mean, I forgot some of the name, my bad. But I know this guy, Momo, okay, and this grateful dog. Yep. So so far so forth, and that's a gimme man for you. I think. Yeah, so you just you predicted it, right?
I mean, it's pretty, I think, obvious because she's been wreaking havoc recently, and until she's nerfed,
Mm.
which won't be pretty soon, Soski. I think she will be on that banned phase
They will
right
get
there.
this.
And yes,
Yeah.
Matala being the third ban from the side of Dakusena, and we all know that how great a support she can be. And of course, if they go in for some of the tanky junglers like Alpha, Fredrin, which are still, working quite well, she can do wonders for them. And even though EXP laners like Katutkaja, and which actually tend to dive in, she can be a boon for them.
Yep, exactly. As you said, she can be a very, very boon to them. But for the last ban for the side of Team Venom, a lot of picks are open. In the jungling, I would say Hayabusa is open. And the Soyu is also open. You don't want to give away them. But maybe you have the second ban. Okay, they're going to go for the glue ban. They don't want to give away the glue. But I think they might just give away a lot of picks to them. They have the opportunity to pick the Badang for the CC, for jungling for the high lows. And I would say they could might beg, okay, never mind. They will not, give away the Hayabusa to the side of Team Venom. I mean, now Venom has the opportunity to pick two meta heroes. Maybe the Badang that can go well against this Hayabusa, or maybe a pick off. I mean, they might go for the Jawhead as well, because those are the two picks that can, I would say, disambulate this Hayabusa's engages. Maybe when he tries to engage, just get an unstoppable force or the fist crack combo, fist break and crack combo. Or maybe they will go for some mage. Serena is still open, Farsa is open, or maybe a Harith, because Harith is a one hell of a good gold leaning right now.
Well, definitely, even though he got nerfed, he still dishes out a lot of damage, and especially if he gets the space and help from the mage and the tank, he can literally change the entire pace of the game for you. But then again, we do have, okay, a Moscow being picked up as the first pick from the side of Venom Esports. That's
Mm.
kind of, interesting here because he does counter a lot of heroes, a lot of meta picks. Because especially with that second skill, he is kind of unstoppable, can't close the distance pretty well, and I think he is pretty counterable to all those assassins unless that Hayabusa has, a really good skill right there, marks down the Moscow after he's used up some of his skills or something. He will be having a hard time killing up that Moscow.
Yep, exactly. But you know what? I think they could have picked Moscow later, because if they have gone going for the Moscow as the first pick, or maybe they thought that Team DS knew that we have a Moscow player, so they might pick the Moscow and don't give it to them. So many opportunities. But look at that. Oh my God, I don't know how they will counter it, because there is going to be the. I mean, they can counter it. I think they will go for. I would say they might need a pick off for this Badang. I guess pick offs, it's very necessary in this game, because if you are able to take down this, okay, that's a very reasonable pick. But they just showed their cards a lot sooner, I guess, because Badang can be a flex pick for the side of Team DS, because they can think, they might think that right now that their Badang will go for the roam. But you know what? If they see the other two picks coming from the side of Team Venom, or maybe just first, the first pick in the second picking phase will be on the side of Team Venom. If they see something, they might think that no, Barang should not be going to the Rome and she should be going to expand. We might see another Rome from the side of Team DS. But as for now, they are going to ban Vexana and a Zushin is banned. Nobody picked this Zushin. That's kind of crazy. I mean, Zushin could have been a very good, I would say, an arsenal for the side of Team Venom, because Zushin will give a hard time to Badang, because you need to counter Badang with the CC. And you have the 4 ways. I'm not saying you don't have the enough CC, but Garud Kasa, he lacks, I would say, fastness. He needs a little bit set to set his own AOTG. So for that, I think there might be some trouble for Team Venoms. But for now, the Fanny is banned. A CC is also banned, because they don't want to go with CC to make this 4 vs getting countered in the EXP lane. But remember, guys, Zelda is open, Hylos is also open. Both of these two heroes, I would say, is go toe to toe with this 4 vs in the EXP lane. Now, the first pick for the side of Team Venom, they have left with the mage pick and the jungler pick. So you're still open. What do you think?
Well, if the side of team DS they go a lot of Harrods center draft right there, maybe picking up a high loss as well as a Eve could be a great option for them because the amount of space Harrods will get will be insane. And at the same time, Eve as well as that Hylos and Badong will be able to provide a lot of help in the early game. And Hayabusa being one of those junglers who really need that snowball,
Ooh.
and the entire team will also be needing that since Harrod really needs that goal before he can absolutely destroy everything out there. So these two picks could be great for them. But right now, we are seeing Xavier being picked up from the side of Team Venom. And I don't think so he will be having a great time right there because he lacks those escape. He does have that flicker, but once it is used up, and I'm sure it will be pretty easily baited away by that Padang. So, of course, the Hayabusa can just, with the
Mhm.
shadows go in and take him down in the early.
Yeah, but you know what? I think that's still the last pick. Okay, there's the Hylos and the Sicilian now for to go, going toe to toe against the range of this guy Xavier. But the Farsa was still open, and the Farsa might be a very good pick here because she has that early damage that your team needs. Because Harith and Hayabusa needs a little bit farm to come. I would say to give a decent amount of damage. Harlem at least, not Harlem, but this Harlem need the Stallion side. I would, to be honest, with the with the clown shoes, the magic shoes, basically. But now the last pick for Venom, this might be a trump card for them because they might go for a very good jungler that can counter at least one of the heroes of the side of Team DS, if not two. And for this, I would say he have the options for maybe go for some tanky jungler like Bakshia. Maybe Fredrin might be also good here, or maybe Alpha, because Alpha I think can melt away this Hylos as well. Or maybe they go for some assassins, some non-cliche assassin. I would say non-meta assassin. Basically, I would say, okay, there it is. They're going to be the Julian, but Julian, to be honest, will be having a little bit hard time against this Badang because if Badang comes in the room, Julian is kind of weak against, I would say CC crowd control basically. So far, so for drafting point of view, they have the early game team venom because of this Julian, because they need a very early game, I would say. They need a little bit of early game. Rest all the people are about to say that mid to late game potential, the draft will come online in the mid to game late game potential. I think both of the side, I think it's like that only, but the early game, I would say, with that Julian pick is going towards team venom for now. But remember the CC that there is with the team DS. What do you guys think about this draft, guys? And Asuya, what do you think about the draft?
Well, both of them look to be pretty good, and I think, right from the early parts of the game, the Badang, the Hylas, as well as our Phobius are the crucial members right there because crucial, how Phobius will be deciding if Harriet gets that farm. He will be the one who will be zoning away, especially during those team fights, those turtle fights in the early game, and he needs to be really precise with whom he is locking down. Same goes for Arbadon. He really needs to lock down precisely the mage, the marksman, and of course Julian is great. He has a fast jungling speed right there. We can see our Momo just picking off those creeps just like their momos. I really like momos. So yeah, he does have a lot of potential in the early, but then really needs to be precise with those skills and make sure that the Harriet is being locked down.
Exactly. And for now, I think still, the team fights are not okay. Never mind, I was bad. That was my bad. But you look at the jungling speed of the Julian. He got the Lethal Wanderer, and not. I would say there was slight microplay coming from both the sides. Look at the Hayabusa positioning. He's going for that one. But look at the map awareness of the side of Team Venom right there. That's very good map awareness. We can see in the bottom lane there might be the possibility of getting a little bit here skirmish in the bottom lane side because the Fovis is there as well. Hylo's giving the vision of that Momo. Okay, he is protecting that one crucial creep for that Hayabusa to get it. Maybe Julian will get it or not. But looking at the funny Valentine, oh, also, that's a very familiar name that I'm seeing right there. Okay, there is a slight microplay from Momo. Okay, nobody is there to punish him. There will be retribution. But here, remember, Haitatsu will go for Momo. But never mind. That's a little bit, I would say, too early to say, to get hyped up, to be honest. But yep, 17 seconds for this first turtle of the game. I think that's not a very good positioning for both the side of the team. They are not in the turtle for now.
Yep, they are looking to lock down the marksman, which is
Oh,
a late game right there. But look at that beautiful sanguine claws connecting two people, and
oh,
Haitatsu
obvious.
moving away. But okay, okay, just look at that. Sicilian in really low HP moves behind. The
Ooh,
teams are still looking for those engages,
morning
taking down
light.
that blue Hayabusa with a shadow, taking down the Sicilian, goes back in the really low HP. Just one hit is required, but manages to escape. Meanwhile, the first blood will be the Phobius who dives down too much. And right there, we do have the Harriet trying to play something right there. Haitatsu in a really low HP. Jazz
Huh?
will be taking down Momo. And with that, Haitatsu will be traded away. The flicker coming up by the Bosco takes
Ooh.
that double kill as Funny Valentine is the next one on the chopping block.
Yeah, exactly. As you said, the funny Valentine will be the next one to getting chopped by this Moskov. But remember, guys, he's a good laner. He got two kills in the early game, so I think this fight has been going towards with this time will be going towards the team Venom. But the first order will also go towards the team DS. Objective wise, I think neutral objectives. Both the teams are up to equal level. You look at the farm difference is not a lot, but remember Moscow got the two kills. They need to shut down the Moscow real quick. Funny Valentine will go for the man force right now. Will he go for the funny? Well, no. He will miss out with a slight, I would say, slight dash it right there in the top lane. Meanwhile, we can see Julian. He was just trying to be a little bit greedy in the bottom lane side, trying to get the red buff, but fails to do so. There was a down with the fish break crack combo to finish the job for that Julian. I would like to see some itemization for now. Okay, that will be the retribution to the later wanderer. Look at the itemization for now. Moscow with the two kills will get a slight, I would say, benefit of that, and he will getting straight away. Okay, he's going for Trinity build, not for the crit build that we can see nowadays Moscow building. Uh, And Trinity here, I think that will be very good to melt down this Jazz and Haitatsu. What do you think about the Trinity build of the Moscow?
I mean, definitely, it's also like situational right there because they do have a lot of tankiness right there, especially with Haitatsu. So Trinity is a great option. And at the same time, okay, Badang in a really tight
Hmm.
situation between three people will be taken down by Momo right there, right before the second turtle. Okay, it's 40 seconds out there, but still a win for them. At the same time, just look at DS
Ooh.
looking for that exchange. Just like Soul said, Moscow is pretty farmed right now. He is all alone, so they are looking for that exchange right there. But the stun onto the Gatot. He is taking a lot of damage. The Zaman Force being popped up. AOTG as a defensive maneuver.
No.
Okay, will the Moscow, the Retribution slowing
Oh,
him down right there. The weak shadow kills, they're still
three.
surviving. And Haitatsu looking for that one kill. And Karukacha still surviving. Look at the damage coming in from the Harrod right there. The ultimate. And okay, Moscow still surviving and really low HP, but will not be possible as four members are right there to just take him down. And with that, the gold from the top tier will also be soaked away by that Harrod doing pretty good now.
Exactly. I mean, that's a little bit, I would say, so much. It was just so much. Moscow boy bought so much time, but no, not enough member out of the team Venom to come top. Meanwhile, they got the bottom inside. I would say if Julian was there, that could be have been their fight, and they could have also gotten the turtle as well. But Momo was not there, and that will be a very slight, I would say, slight depreciating team fight for the side of Team Venom, and it is a very good team fight for the side of DS. It will give them the momentum that they need because they shut down this Grateful Dog. And Funny Valentine, I think he is in a quite comfortable place for now. And remember, this Enchanted Talisman has already been bought by the Xavier. And Xavier, if he gets his combo correctly, I think he can just turn away this Harith when he is in Zaman Force, and his dash will get reset to the cooldowns that they need. I think it's 3 seconds cooldown on the Zaman Force when you see Harith with the Chrono Dash in the Zaman Force as well. But now that the second turtle is up, they will go in for the fight with the turtle. There will be the dash combo from the Julian side, and they will be donning like connecting retribution. Gap was
Oh.
there. Hayabusa missing with the retribution. There will be the spear of destruction and the misery to the Jazz. Jazz is quite low right there. There will be the sanguine claws to protect this Haitatsu. Okay, we can see in the top lane side there will be the end for that Hayabusa, the ninja guy, and there is again the stun combo from that Julian, misses out wildly, will have to fall back for now because there is the heart of the Zaman for the other Salem side guys. He will get the one kill of that Xavier. He's still going, he's still fighting for it, but remember, there is the four ways to counter that Harith, and for now there will be a tactical retreat from the side of Team Venom. And I think this time that was a very good trade coming from both the sides. But a mage for a tank, I would say this fight has been won by DS, but the momentum is going towards the side of Team Venom right now.
I mean, definitely, if you do look at them, that when there was TS looking for the top lane for the first year, at the same time, it was an exchange for the bot lane as the first year is gone away. So the gold lane, the gold lead is not much. At the same time, just like that team fight, if you do see how great the Fovis is doing, the way he locked down that Hayabusa didn't let him just join those team fights, didn't let him retrieve properly, and that's what you really want from your EXP laner. And once again, he goes right there, but gets stunned by Badang twice right there, tries to make some plays, tries to survive, but it will be all for naught as it's 1 versus 3. He cannot escape.
Exactly, and this is what I was talking about. They have got a little bit set from the Badang side, and if they stun the right people, they might be able to pick off some one hero basically. If Fovis has to be very careful. If he gets into the wrong bush, that might be the end for him, as we saw in the red buff side. But there is the
Oh,
Momo. Okay, will be getting a damage from that funny Valentine, and the Haitatsu is also there. Wonderful microplay coming from the side of Team DS right there, and they will have to fall back for now. Meanwhile, they will be the AOTG misses out wildly for now, and there will be the demonic force from that 4vs. We'll go for the stun combination. Remember, Julian is still low, sorry, still there. Jazz, there might be the Dawning Light as well from the Xavier. There will be the Hayabusa which will go into the backline to take down the Xavier. Xavier will fall down for now. Meanwhile, killing spree for the small scope. Double kill will go towards that Hayabusa. And we can see there is a little bit, I would say, kill in the mid lane. Not a little bit, but he got the Yamraj as well. And he will send Yamraj to the Yamraj of his own. There will be the. Okay, that's a good spear of misery right there from the Hayabusa. There will be the stun from the demonic force from the Phobius. And this great dog is not ready to give up on that kill easily, and there will the flicker misses out widely from the dawning light as well. There will be the quad shadow of that Hayabusa will try to get the buff there, but there will be the okay. The Badang was there to survive the day for that Hayabusa and will help that Hayabusa to get the blue buff. But now they're taking a lot for now. The team Venom right there.
Well, I think easy load for them. Yeah, right there. Momo takes away, and fist crack coming in once again. The stuns are connecting, and there will be one
Oh,
casualty. Tries to move away with the AOTG, but isn't it possible? But look at that beautiful connection of those shadows, and another kill in the hands of Team DS right there. Well, a pretty fair exchange, if you ask me. At the same time, Madara walking down with that. Just look at how royal he looks marching down like that. At the same time, and I'm just
hmm,
trying to defend the first year in the mid lane, and of course, as it should be, because it opens up the map quite a lot. And at the same time, as
yeah,
I speak, what's happening, if you do see how good the Moscow, the Hayabusa, and the Phobius are doing in this game, Harith, he kind of wasted his flicker right there because the AOTG didn't actually connect onto him, and he could have used it later when just the Moscow came in
oh,
and stunned him and took him down. So yeah, like even though there is the Hylos who's trying to engage, but then again he lacks that mobility, and Harith isn't getting that protection. He's left far behind, and Phobius as well as the Moscow, they're just diving behind, taking down the Harith, and he's someone who is really needed in those team fights.
exactly. I would like to see some itemization right there because we are into the 10 minutes of the game, guys. And the Rome has been bought by the Xavier. He has got the anti-heal and the enchanted talisman. And the three core items has been bought by this Momo. Okay. I would say Julian, he's doing his part. I would say okayish because you don't need to pick off his Julian. You just need to, I would say, poke the frontliners until they're too low and then engage, or maybe just make some play with your, I would say, with your creative combos. Either you go for the stun combo or the dagger combo. Meanwhile, we can see there is a slight less defense on that hideout. So I think he is going for anti heal. Then he will go for that. He has also bought the robe that is a sub item for either the radiant armor or the Athena. So Athena, I think they need it because for this Xavier is gonna hurt after he gets his third item. This basically might be a Divine Glaive or the Blood Wings, or we can see the Holy Crystal, the powerful mage item. But meanwhile, Haitatsu, okay, they will be engaged from a little bit skirmish right there. There will be the few resources has been used already by the side of Team DS as well as the side of Team Venom. But meanwhile, DS will not have revitalize and that or the ultimate of the high lows, like the glorious pathway, if I'm not wrong. And meanwhile, I would say this grateful dog, he's going to have a very good time because nobody has bought even the vengeance on the side of Team DS. So he will just be there to freely hit, and with that, Trinity combo, it's going to be very difficult to stop. And if the Sanguine Clause is also on point, I think that might be able to make a play for the side of Team DS because AOTG, I mean, not the AOTG, but we are talking about the DS because if Jazz is able to give us pick off, I think that might be a very good choice for the DS for now to win this game because now the game has been boils down to whoever engages first. It's either the DS or it's either the Venom. If the Venom side there is a good stun from that Xavier, he might be able to give away a good free AOTG stun to the side of team for the side of Team DS right there. But meanwhile, we can see they are taking the second lot. They will the Sanguine Claws onto that. Gangster will have to fall back for now. Will also use a Revitalize. Meanwhile, that's a very good retribution right there. Hayabusa was not on point, but will go for the backlines as well. But there will be the fish break crack combo air to G right there to just protect the Xavier. But I think Jazz will take care of the Xavier as well. But meanwhile, you can see the okay, Gatorgas will also fall down from the Imbraj, and Funny Valentine is also there to take down the Julian. There will the fish break onto the Julian. He's still giving up a lot of damage, able to dash combo, but no, he just dashed into his death right now. The mega kill is there from that Moscow, and he's not going to help his teammates because he is going for the mid lane size. Meanwhile, Health getting his crucial item in middle of the fight. That's going to be the Holy Crystal, and by this, guys, I think Lord neutral objective has been won by Venom, but the team fight has also been won by the team DS right there.
I mean, definitely. I really wanted to say that in all the previous team fights, the Jazz, the Badang, he was locking down the Gadot Kacha, and that's not something which you really want. Like, of course, if he's solo, it would be great if he's taken away because it will be a pretty good for them in those team fights. But then again, he needs to use those flickers and second skills pretty well, lock down the Moscow, and that's what he did. Just zoned away the Moscow, zoned away the Xavier, and just didn't leave them, didn't let them join those team fights. And even though the Lord was taken away by Venom, but they did run out in a lot of kills right there. So still, it's quite balanced. But at the same time, if we look at the entire map, the macro definitely looks in the hands of Team Venom, if you ask me, because just look at them, the
Mhm.
way they are spread up all over, looking for those pickoffs left and right. Focus once again going in. Hytaxun on really low HP, revitalize being used up, one resource wasted,
Oh,
and with the fist crack, what a beautiful fist crack coming up right then. Yamraj will be taken down along with Momo, who takes that revenge. Meanwhile, Jazz will be picked up right
oh.
there, and Funny Valentine doesn't have even a single space to move away. And just look at the damage coming in from the Moscow. Does he wants to take that life, the last life, but it will be the shadows which will make the Hayabusa escape. But just look at that Solski, 4 members down, and the minions coming in. Will Team DS be able to save their turrets?
The lowest cooldown for them is I think 6 seconds. I think Sicilian will be up for then. Ultimate has not been there for the for this Hayabusa. He might be able to dodge some there, some bullets, but they will be the okay. There's the party has arrived. Sicilian will be there, and this might be a potential throw from the side of Team Venom right there. Overestimated right there from the side of Team Venom, and will fail to end the base and triple kill, and that's no you triple kill from the side of Team DS, and that's what we say. You guys shouldn't be too much greedy, or you should have a little bit discipline to end the game because that will be 6 seconds for Sicilian. He has a lane clear, and that was enough time bought by the Hayabusa. He even survived that so much stuns. Either they should lock down the Hayabusa and gone for the Lord, but now I think they might lose the Lord as well and some neutral objectives because bottom internet will also fall down. And now I think Harith is going to be a very free giving damage along if only if this Hayabusa take down that Moscow before this fight. I think this fight has already been won by Team DS right there. But meanwhile, we can see Gangster is also there trying to give away some vision, but fails. Sorry, this Julian will fails to do anything right there in the top lane because that's a very good shot call from the side of Team Venom right there. Slight, I would say, even if they just backed off, just retreated from just inhibitor, they would still have won this fight because they have the necessary stuns right now to counter out that Harith in the late game. They just need to look out for that Hayabusa, which is wrecking havoc in the backline. Now, Sicilian is also, I would say, going to hurt Team Venom. One Sanguine Claws, one Bats Feast combo, and that might be lights out for the side of Team Venom right there. But meanwhile, we can see there's a little bit skirmish in the top lane side. Julian is in the position right there. Harith is giving away some poke damage to them. There will be the dash combo. Lord will get taken down. This Madara will get down in the top lane side. Meanwhile, Yamraj is trying to sneak peek that I would say bottom lane inhibitor. Now, if you look at that, as you said, macro point of view, now the team DS is winning because there is a very good zone coming from the Taitatsu, just giving a necessary zoning potential, and there will be the dawning light. Okay, AOTG will be there to escape. There will be the two people on that fist crack break combo, and this is what I was talking about. Hayabusa got a two crucial member, that will be the Moscow and the 4VS, and now Team Venom are left for their own. Across has the most. Okay, never mind. He's just done for with that Sanguine Claws Bats Impact combo. And this is what I was talking about. One crucial mistake, and that GG's for you for the side of Team Venom this time. But now, Team DS is going for that mid lane turret. Will they possibly go for that first? Okay, that's a good flicker, but misses out widely. Going in with the dash combo. Jazz will get taken down from the turret damage, but I think that will be a sacrificial pawn for the side of Team DS because right now, this Dakusena, this DS is going to win this game number 1 of the best of 3 series. What a game it was.
Oh my goodness.
Victory!
So yeah, so what kind of games we are seeing here? It's so amazing. And a big comeback for the side of Team Venom Books. And oh my goodness, what a play coming out from Kayasi. So yeah, I really want to ask you what went wrong.
I mean, definitely, like, it was a pendulum. And when we were all thinking that the game might go into the hands of Team Venom Esports, they did that one crucial mistake. They forced it through. They didn't see those timers coming in. And one by one, if you do see, the Badang's flicker combo was there, the Sanguine Claws
Yeah.
were there, so much CC, all of them just got up right there. Only 4 waves remaining, but of course he cannot do anything 1 versus 5. And since then, it was a downgrade, a downfall for them as Hayabusa, as well as the rest of the team. The damage coming in from the Harriet, the triple which Hayabusa got right there, just changed the entire tide of the game.
Yeah, I can definitely see that because into the early part of this game we can see that the Moscow was actually the one having the happier farm in comparison to the Harris. But then again, there was this, having the goals, having the economy is able to rotate around the map, securing objectives here and there, and then the last moment where they were marching into the mid lane, they were losing all their sanity right there. So, uh, so didn't they have a little bit more of a discipline, so?
I mean, I already pointed out. I mean, they should have just waited. I would also say. I mean, just go for the high lows. No, you just got that stun, or he was taunted, he was stunned, and nobody marked that Hayabusa.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, bro. I mean, I'm just I don't have no words to say. I'm just was so invested in that time. I forgot to pass it to the Asuya. Asuya, my bad, by the way. So I mean, it just so. I mean, you just did so much of hard work, and you just needed to wait. That's all. I mean, good things come to those who wait, guys. Come on, man.
Yeah,
That was just slight mistake, to be
definitely.
honest.
I think it's a game, right? It's a game where even the smallest mistakes will be building up and it will be costing you a game, and this is what we are seeing here right now. So I think DS, they need to have a little bit of a discipline right there because I think into the early part of this game they weren't losing that, only just one small silly mistake and they were losing all the game. And of course we cannot read out that Venom, they were doing so good in how they were re-engaging onto their team fights as well, and the defense that they did so perfectly done. But what I wanna ask is that who do you think is gonna be getting the MVP? So yeah.
I mean, okay.
Um, Well, might be the Hayabusa or even the Harriet. Of course, it should be either of them because the damage was insane. But I wouldn't, all the teams, I think, all three of them, all five of them did what they were doing pretty well, especially in the early games. Debbie, the Badang, I was seeing his CCs were not up to point. Like, he couldn't mark down the people who really wanted to be marked. But then towards the late game, the backliners got accessible. Like, Team Venom just gave away. Maybe they were a bit nervous that they just throw the game right there, or maybe just they thought that we are losing now, there's no point.
Mhm.
But they gave those easy accesses one by one, just like dominoes. The people were just falling down.
Mm, exactly. Who do you think is gonna be Soldo?
Hayabusa, I mean, all the way from Hayabusa, bro. He did a no
Yeah.
you. It's going to be the no. He just did a no you triple kill. Fovis got a triple kill,
Mm,
and then Hayabusa
hmm.
got a triple kill. What do you what
Yeah.
else what else you wanna ask? He was, I would say, he was 8 to 6 around. Before
Mm,
that last team fight where Team Venom threw a triple kill. I think his KD was 12 or 11ish kill something upon two deaths and 6 or 7, 8 assists maybe. If I'm not wrong. I mean, we'll just see the number in just in matter of time. And for the side of Team Venom, I think it's going to be the Moscow. I mean, obviously, yeah, it's going to be
yeah.
the Moscow. And you know what? As Asuya said, they got nervous that they threw the game, and that's absolutely right. Because at the last point, Xavier was there, man. You just need to do some combination on the front liner, just spam your dawning light and just to clear the waves. And he just got caught out in that sanguine clause in the top lane's inhibitor side. I mean, man, come. There is a slight lack of discipline in my opinion from the side of Team Venom right there. But you know what? Let's just not be too harsh on them because that's just game one, guys. People learn from the mistake. I also learned from my exes, so yeah. So I'm like, just kidding, just kidding, just kidding, guys, just kidding. So
The question is, do you really learn?
yes, I
Yeah,
learned.
you
Okay, yes, yeah, that's okay. Okay, never mind, guys. Also, don't forget to like, share, subscribe the stream, guys, and Yeah, what are you saying, Debbie?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you definitely summed it all up. And I think all we have to do is wait for what they're going to be showing because I'm really, really excited. Not excited, but looking forward to see what the damage is going to be for the Moskov as well as the Funny Valentine because, he's been popping off quite a lot. He's been such an amazing player into the goal lane side as well. But one thing I'm quite sure is that both of the teams, they had a late game hero, right? The Sicilian and the Xavier, but the Sicilian did come out on top. So here we go. We can see that a little bit of change up. Okay, no change up in Bill. Is there something that's standing out for both of you, Asuya?
Um, well, the only thing right now which I'm seeing is Stan 1-5 on that Hayabusa, so
Yeah.
it's just like so sad. He definitely is the MVP right there. And
Mm,
the rest of the things look to be pretty okay, but at the same time, we do see that how there was a lack of goal for the side of Team Venom Esports. They did not have enough, especially the Katot Kacha, if you do see him, doesn't have enough goal to build up the rest, which he really wants to or wishes to build up.
yeah,
Hmm.
I think it's actually true. And Jazz, he was so amazing onto the sets as well. And even if you look at the builds, nothing is shining up, but he was able to sustain a lot because of the Oracle, right? And already
Hmm.
full build for the Moskov Solski, but I think it's a little bit, he came online very early on, but I don't know how they didn't manage to, have
Just say
that in
he
their
throwed.
hand.
Just say he throwed.
Okay. No, 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 no sugar coating. He throwed.
Just kidding. Yeah, team throwed, not
Um,
just most. I mean, to be honest, like Julian could have done a very, very good job if he just waited for right opportunity. That he did in that game, and he was just going for, when they were fighting on the blue side of the Hayabusa. As soon as Julian went in, there was a spirit of destruction from Moscow, and there was AOTG at the same time, simultaneously. That was a very good engage
Mm,
from their side, Venom side. But I don't know how they mess it up after winning that fight. I just didn't see Momo getting pop off anywhere into anywhere of the map. I mean, Team Venom had a lot of potential. I'm just waiting. Even if Xavier could have gotten, with that wishing lantern, he just could. He just need to buy a divine glaive. Just waited for a
mm,
few, I would say, 30 seconds. He would have gotten that, and we
mhm,
might see even if after they throw it, we could have seen a completely different outcome if only they had a little bit. I would say a little patience, not just discipline, a little patience. I mean, it's obviously
mm,
if I was in their shoes, I would have also been hurried, just end the game, end the game, end the
mm.
game. But yeah, sometimes you gotta. I mean, it just what happened has already happened, guys. You just gotta learn from
Yeah.
it. You just have to gulp it down your throat that you have lost and focus on the second game because what's done is done. Nothing is gonna come back that has already been passed.
Yep. Lock the base. Lock the base. That's gonna be chanting because especially when you have a Moscow, right? Yeah, I was gonna be trying to focus onto the base, but unfortunately, it wasn't the case. But I think what do you think as the draft is gonna be for the second game? Because for both of these teams, I don't think the draft was even the problem, right? So
I
yeah,
have ban.
should they even try to change it or just replace
well,
it?
Well, Debbie, whenever I see a Badang open, I always say, nah, man,
Yeah.
don't do that.
No.
Because we did see, especially towards the late game, how crucial he was. He was locking down the Phobos, he was locking down Xavier as well as Moscow, especially in that last team fight. Xavier was taken down, Moscow was taken down because they were just stun locked with those walls, with those fists. And yes, I really believe that they really need to draft a bit better in the next game. And they will be having the first pick, so maybe they can just use up something better. And I really believe that picking up the Moscow as the first pick from the side of Venom could have waited. They could have gone in for they could have gone in for that Badang, right? That could
Mm-hmm.
have been the option. And one more thing which I really noticed in those team fights, Debbie, is like if you did see Venom Esports, they were doing very well when they were retaliating those team fights.
Oh.
But whenever Team DS was the one who was engaging first, they were the one losing it out. So maybe,
Oh.
like in the previous game, wait out for DS to engage first and retaliate.
Yeah, that has to be something to point out, especially since Asuya mentioned it. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we are into the second game, a drafting phase, as of now into the Mythic Showdown. And forecasters today, Solski and Asuya, please take it away.
No, I will not take it away. I will grab it away. All right, as you said. Okay, never mind. I mean, Aswiya, you go on for it.
Well, right now the only thing which came to my mind is like you have preferences for grabbing away. Um, and with that, we do have the second
All right.
match right there. So the first match, they might be testing the waters right there, Solski, and just look at them, Venom Esports panning out that Hylos. Was he that annoying? Was he that like the way he was zoning? Was that so much of importance? Like, what do we say? Was he that
Ah,
making so much change, so much importance in that game that he needs to be banned this game?
yeah. I mean, that was very good zoning coming from the side of from that, not Hayabusa, but this Hylos, because I mean, not that much because they if when they were not winning, Hylos was just being using his, they were melting Hylos quite good in the, in every team fight. It's just that they lost momentum. That's when how Hylos become a very prominent force. So maybe that is the reason they banned it. And look at the Moscow ban right there. They learned the lesson this time, and they also banned the Hayabusa Team DS. And also, guys, till you guys are seeing us from in the chat, shout out to everyone. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe the stream. Naki is there, Taichi is there. Shout out to everyone, Zanzo and Rizzler, and Aurelia is also there. By the way, guys, Aurelia has their birthday, so please spam happy birthday Aurelia in the chat. Coming back to the point, there is, as you mentioned, there is a Matilda ban. I would say they are all cliche ban, to be honest. And for the last, Venom, the priority should be here. Do you think that they will prioritize Badang this time, or they will ban Badang?
Well, that's hard, very hard question. If you pick up a Badang, or if you do not ban him, just go for something which can counter him pretty easily. A Zushin is someone who can give a lot of problem to the Badang because if he doesn't have that flicker, of course he doesn't have flicker all of the time. So he needs to look for a position, a close by position, and since his dashes, the distance got nerfed, he's actually pretty close to the enemy. So yeah, Zushin can be quite a trouble right there. Kimi can melt him down, and there are a lot of other options. Picking up a Kalia, just grab that Badang, throw him inside the turret, and just take him down. So there are a lot of options, but then again, it makes, it depends on what will be the
Okay.
first pick coming from
hmm
the side of Team Venom right
Ex-
now.
exactly. But you know what? Yeah, that's what I
Oh,
was about. Kimmy was open. Kimmy is just like a no-brainer pick because Kimmy is like a flex pick. You don't know where she's going. Go mid lane or gold lane. You can, tease enemy that no, we are going gold lane with Kimmy, and then you can pull out some some gold lane, and you will see Kimmy going mid lane. And as
Jungle
for Kalia,
Kimi.
all right, we can go with the EXP Kimmy as well because I think she can do pretty good in EXP. Why not Australia? I think we can try it tonight, I guess. But yep. Uh, for the side of team DS, okay, there it is. Oh my God, they have got the brains this time. I'm okay. Never mind. Okay, guys, let me tell you why Irithel is
DS
a good
again.
pick. Yeah, let me tell you why Irithel is good here. Okay, wait, let me just get into the professor voice. Because Irithel is a very high mobile marksman and Kemi is weak against high mobile heroes. And if you pick Irithel as a first pick, you have the opportunity to take down that, I would say, Kimi with just one instant burst. Just you shoot down your S1, S2, and then you use heavy crossbow, and then one, two, three, boom, Kimi gone. And how I know it? Because I am an Irithel main in this season, and I'm going to be soon. Okay, never mind. I'm not gonna flex it. You will just see it in your leaderboard. Don't forget to check your leaderboard, guys. And yep, I'm just loving I'm just being biased because I'm a Rithel main. But yep, Irithel I would say is a quite good pick. But I still think they could have gone for some assassin, or maybe Irithel they could have picked it later because they didn't know that Venom is going to pick Irithel. But that's a very good thought process from the side of Team DS. But this Badang that they have taken, I think they could have gone for Kalea because Kalea is a very good pick off for that Kimi. Even if she takes Purify, especially this Kimi is pretty hard to catch. So you need an assassin for that. And for the assassin, Ling is a very very much better pick. But this time Ling has also been gone towards the side of Team Venom right now. But Venom jungler, I think okay, the
Oh,
Florine was open. The Florine, I forgot about the Florine, guys. She is like a cute demon, to be honest. She is getting banned all over the rank. I think all over the world in the ranks, and now we are seeing a Florine pick right there. So I think Austria, you love Florine, right? I'm being sarcastic right now.
no, I do not. But
I know I'm
Peachy
being
loves her.
sarcastic.
Peachy loves her. So if she was here, I'm sure she would be happy. And
What do you
we
mean?
do look at
I'm a
what
Florine man. What do you mean?
You are a Florin man. Yeah, I know you play Angela and Florin with that Sky Piercer, so yeah, absolutely. No one can main him or her better than you, so
I know that. I know, right? So yeah,
well
we are in
then
the second banning phase. What do you say have to say? Yeah, so yeah, go on, go on.
the draft actually, Padang right there is a good pick, and DS
Badang
did manage to grab once again. But then just look at that. Just like I said, there is the Kalia, and Badang will most probably be on that flicker. So if he tries to, look for some exchanges, look for some stance or CC right there, Kalia can just disengage or disorganize him, just remove him out of the picture. Same goes for the Link. Like he is a great assassin with the ultimate, he does have that purify. So if Badang manages to catch him down, he has a lifesaver for himself. But then again,
Mm-hmm.
the only problem right here is how is Link supposed to take down that Irithel? Because there is a range of his ultimate, and if she just manages to just dash away with her ultimate, because of course no good Irithel player, they will just wait it out for Link's ultimate to be used up.
Yeah, which good player you are talking about? Good little player.
It's you, Solski, of course.
Thank you, thank you. All right, all right. So the second banning phase, we are seeing that there is a Harith ban that's a good ban, but they are also banned with the Phobius. I mean, they could have also picked the Phobius themselves, but they are also looking at the possibility for the Venom to go to ban this Harith, because Harith might be the gold laner and Kimi might go to the mid. That's what you get when you have the flex pick. You don't know what's the flex, where the flex will be, either the mid or the gold. So you have to take predictions out of it. Maybe your prediction is right, maybe your prediction is wrong. That totally depends on the team Venom right now, but that gives you a pressure on the banning section, and that's why they have into the pressure. They have also banned Harith and the Phobius, and they have banned the Phobius. Do you think? I mean, Phobius gave them a hard time last match. I mean, he did give away the hard time, but I don't think so. It was that much. Okay, a Bakshia pick
Mhm.
right there. Okay, that will survive a lot of HP along with the slow rain, but they are heavily dependent on the damage coming from Miracle right now, and they need a solid mage to cope up for the damage. If they go for the Sicilian, I think they will be heavily dependent on the Baksha for the early game, because Kimmy is like a very good damage dealer in the early game as well because of the buff she has gotten. So they have got to choose the mage wisely, I would say, because the Farsa, if they go for the Farsa, Ling is there, so she will have a very hard time. Sicilian is quite a self-dependent mage, I would say, but it lacks the damage in the early game. So well, let's just see what DS is going to pick here. Meanwhile, we can see the carry, and that's a very good chip. I was about to say the chip is also open, and they have gave away. I mean, if you can't counter the Florine, he'll just gang the Florine with 5 people and just kill her and then start the fight again. To be honest, so for the mate side, it's going to be a very crucial pick right now. If they go for the Louis, she will be having a, okay, never mind. There's the Valentina right
Oh,
there,
this
but
is
they will
what
still lacking. They're still lacking a lot of damage from the magic, man. I mean, Valentina gives out the magic. I'm not saying she does. She also needs a lot of items now because of the nerf she has gotten. But there's a lot of ultimate that she can use. Basically, a shortcut from the chip right there. So the drafting point of view, damage is lacked from the side of Team DS, but they have quite a very very utility point of draft. If they use their utility well, can compensate for the damage. And for the side of Team Venom, they have already, I think, they have full packed things right there in their hands.
well, definitely the drafts, look to be really good from both the sides right now. Kimmy is the mage, and she will be melting down. Um, like at the same time, one more thing, that Valentina pick, why I really love that not only she can use Kalia as well as that shortcut, the two ultimates right there. She can also move around. She has two dashes, and she most probably will be on a purify, or maybe if she's on a flicker, she can move around from Kimmy. Kimmy really needs to keep retargeting her basics.
Oh,
So
yes.
yeah, she will be having a pretty good time. Even with that Kimmy's ultimate, she has that slow, she has that damage. So Valentina is pretty good pick right here. But then again, Baksha will be getting melted down pretty fast by that carry. She manages to get farmed. And there's one more thing, that Badang, as well as the Baksha, will be in the front. They will be completely ahead. And Florence, of course, squishy. And she really needs like maybe 6 minutes into the game where you get that flask, and when she gives that heal or the shield right there before that, she's pretty vulnerable because I think Kalia as well as that Kimi combo itself in the early can do a lot.
Exactly, but now we are still okay. We are seeing a lot of skirmish right there
Oh,
going on, but there will be the first blood for the side of team. Oh my God! Team DS got the first blood right there, and now they're going for the Lethal Wanderer. Will be getting the Lethal with the Retribution right there, and there was a lot of skirmish. Okay, there's the microplay gameplay coming from the side of team Venom right there. I think Vakshia. I mean, Badang with a Bakshia. I mean, that if you couple it really well, I mean, you have just a free kill this week. Early game, I mean, they are heavily dependent on that Bakshia. Meanwhile, Kimi gave up the damage, but not this. I mean, I was not talking about this much early game. Early game is like the 5 minutes mark of the game is still 5 minutes mark. Kimi can give you the get damage with the one item only, I guess. So they gotta wait for their power spike. But Baksha, he doesn't need a power spike because he is power himself right from the early game as well. Look at the tortoise man, and there will be the chip. Chip doesn't have too much of defense right there. He must not
oh,
forget it. There is a good gang coming from the side of team. Funny Valentine, DS Funny Valentine. There will be the turtle up. There's a Banang
oh.
with a stun right there, and he has gotten a hold of that guy. Will he survive or not? I don't think so. He will survive. Yep, he will get die. And there is the Biju Hunter will go down from the hands of side from the hands of Team DS, and that will be the first drill right now. And
Oh,
there is again a fish crack right onto the wall, just going for that Kimi. Kimi didn't bring Purify in this match. I don't know what she was thinking, to be honest.
well, same question here. And just look at Badang, already level 4, already providing so much CC and Kalia. She is a great pick. She has that passive heal, and yet she's not being able to utilize that. Already given away 2 kills to DS right now. They are like they have the neutral objective. They are on that 3K goal lead. At the same time, they should have, I just thought that even though there is the Kalia and the Kimi, but then again, the enemy has the Baksha. They have the Valentina, who is pretty good in the early, at the same time also a Badang. So the early is definitely in the hands of DS right now. But then just look at that engage coming in, Link flying away over those walls. The Cyan Finch, he is moving away gracefully. And with that, for now, I think Team Venom Esports really need to play it safe. But in the top lane, the flicker being used up by Jazz, the shortcut coming in, looking for the one engage, and Jazz just dashing away from the ultimate coming
Oh,
in. Okay, one more person. Kalia just moving him around, slamming them left and right. It's 2 versus 2 right there. Link actually not being able to do anything at this point, doesn't have enough damage. Boksha being able to sustain quite a lot, especially with that passive coming in from Florin.
yeah, that's a very okay. Now the Yamraj has a tsunami slam. I think Yamraj is gonna take someone with him. And I think it might be the gangster right there. And as you said, there is too much sustain from that Bakshi. And Bakshi, look at that, he's not giving her any room to breathe for that Ling. And that's how you should play Bakshi, to be honest, because you know that you are a tank and
Oh,
have look, there is a good fish crack break combo. And this Valentina got the second kill of this game. Meanwhile, Bakshi will use his okay. There is a tsunami slam from Flicker from that
oh,
Valentina, and will give away take away that Kimi. And that's why, guys, you should bring Purify because there is a Valentina right there. Wonderfully played by that Yumraj. What a shot calling giving away from the team DS right there. Meanwhile, we can see there is a possible gang from in the bottom lane side as well. Maybe not. Okay, they will fall back for now. But look at the microplay coming from the side of Team DS right now.
micro, macro, Solsky, both of them are in their control. And Team Venom Esports, especially the chip, really needs to know that he isn't pretty tanky because he is, more of a utility out there, isn't the tankiest among all those tanks. So he shouldn't be just moving away just like a gangster in front of a Badang who can just unlock him instantly. And there's so much gold lead in the hands of DS right now. They have so much damage, even though, just like Solsky mentioned before, that they lack the damage, only have Irithel for that. But yet, just look at the amount of damage they are giving right now. The Valentina, the early game, the Irithel's passive, which will be just the first skill, taking out those defenses, those armor. The combination of everything is giving so much damage right there. But in the top lane, the shortcut coming in once again, Badang in the tight situation, 4 versus 1. Rami Slam coming in, uses up that flicker along with the second skill. The first crack coming in, stun locking, but it will be him who will be taken down. Meanwhile, there will be 2 more people taking down one by one. Cyan Finch with his ultimate, trying to purify, trying to move away. Valentina still sticking after him, looking for that one engage. Okay, she might dash it off once again. One hit is all that's needed, and Momo will also be taken down. And here comes the recall spam, the toxicity of those recalls. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Sakura not having the best time of her life right there. Just look at the damage coming in from the Erythel and Florent right behind her, trying to safeguard her. The lead is in the hands of Team DS right now. So, Solski, what do you think Team Venom Esports can do? Like, just look at the severe lack of gold they have right now.
Just play safe now. Basically, that's what you need to do because you have the late game right there. But you know what? I just said that yeah, they lack that. They are dependent on Funny Valentine for the damage for the late game, but the early game, look at that Baksha. He's just not getting melted right away. But there is the blast from that Kimi. But look at the Florian with the blessing right there. Mega kill will go towards that Valentine on the bottom lane side. Meanwhile, a lot of people are low in the mid lane side. We can see there is the kill from that Funny Valentine to that Biju Hunter along with X Cross. I mean, come on, X Cross, bro. You gotta bring that Purify because you just died because without that Purify 4 times now. So I mean, that might be the lesson, but this is remember this is the game pointer for the side of Team DS right now. But they are dominating this game like they just they're just here to end this game early. Meanwhile, you know, team. I mean, just let's just see itemization because 4 times Kimi has died, so she will take, I think, at least next 5 to 6 minutes to get online again. There is just feather of heaven, that's all. Meanwhile, you can see Irithel has already gotten her Pin Talker along with that good tough boots because you need for that for to minimize this 30% slow. Meanwhile, Badang with a good okay, there is a blade armor. That's a very good thought coming from the Badang. It can counter. Okay, there is. I mean,
Hmm?
come on, man. That was not a very good engage from the Link. It was, that was a very good try from the Link as well, to be honest. But you know what? Yamraj, meanwhile, now he will give away the damage. I was, you just gotta wait for the 5 minutes of Valentina, try, guess, will give, will hit you like a, I would say, mm,
You like
give me
heart
some,
attack?
no, not heart attack. Why you wanna kill people with a heart attack? I mean, it will hit you like a, I would say, a good punch, to be honest. So yeah, okay,
Well, well.
so we can see there is a slight skirmish in the red lane, red side, and there is a lot of okay. There is
Oh,
a fish break. Okay, that's a very good flicker from the side of team. Okay, from the Grateful Dog, to be honest. So that's a flicker used. So they just gotta wait for this carry to come online. But meanwhile, they have the range advantage. Okay, there is a tsunami slam. Okay, never mind. There is no tsunami slam for the Biju Hunter. I think she would have done so because there is just verify for the Funny Valentine right there. Meanwhile, you can see Jazz waiting for the perfect opportunity to go with set because he has a flicker right now. There is a slam from the sub. Okay, there is a
oh,
tsunami slam. There will be the blast from the Kimi. There will be the heal from the Florian from the backside. Meanwhile, that's a little overextension from that Baxia. And Jazz tried to give away the damage,
oh.
but look at another kill, and that's a shutdown will go towards the carry. I think that's a little bit overextension coming from the side of Team DS right there.
You know, this is what they were waiting for. This is what, just like I said in the previous game, whenever they are the ones who engage first, when the esports are on the losing end, in this team fight, they waited for the side of Team DS to engage first. Meanwhile, Ling doing the best, the thing which he's best in, just split pushing. And yes,
You
he
know,
has so much mobility with him. At the same time, finally, Team Venom getting those skills right there. But I think Gangster will be taken down, even though he's a gangster, but unfortunately, he's the one who's getting ganged up upon. That's pretty ironic, if you ask me. Yeah, the goal
yeah,
lead, which actually got pretty okay for the side of Team Venom Esports, I think it's once again in the favor of Team DS right now, and that was a very bad time to engage because the Lord is up, it's the first Lord of the game. I really do not want to die at this time. I think Team DS will be taking this pretty freely unless Team Venom Esports or the Kalia they're
oh,
looking for some engages. But look at the tsunami slam coming in, the flicker being used up right there. They're still after him once again. The
oh,
Valentina doing that counter slam, and it will be an Udo reverse. But look at the
oh.
flicker and the fish crack right there on the two people. Carry once again manages to flicker away, but unfortunately, Kimi will not be able to escape. Erythel going in for those low kills, looking for those kills right there. But of course, this positioning of the carry, the way she plays and the uses of those flickers, pretty good if you ask me.
Yeah, it was pretty good, but don't forget the funny one. He has the got up, but okay, never mind. I think Makshama died. No, 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 no. He wouldn't because there's the Florin right there. So I would like to see itemization because we haven't been able to talk about the itemization in this game because it was not that much of a defense because we know that the team DS is winning the team fights. But now we can see there is the anti-heal now with the Kimi, but severely lacking. The highest gold is 7,000 approximately. Meanwhile, the highest gold of the side of team DS is 9,000 approximately from the side of team DS's marksman. That's basically if she hit 10,000 marks, she will
Oh,
get the full itemization, and that's how you got to burst with the Erythral guys. That's just do the heavy crossbow arrow combo, and the defense will be low of the enemy, and that's how you will die. I would say, okay, there might be the tsunami slam right there. There will be the splash from that Kimi, heal from that Florine, and this time again they will die from the hands of the side of Funny Valentine from the side of DS. But look at that Momoke trying to buy some time for him, and that's a very good link kind of a gameplay. The Tempest Blade will go for something. No, 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 he will fall back. But now Hideout will be getting the Oracle right there. That's a quite unique pick for this Florine. Meanwhile, Hideout has also gotten the Oasis, the Flask of Oasis, as well as the that fleeting time. So if you got 20%, 30%, I would say 20% cooldown, as well as if someone dies from that chlorine heals, if she will her cooldown will be cut down by some person. That's going to be a very very tough to I would say anticipate that how if chlorine has that did the ultimate, but when it's coming back. So so far so forth, Team Venom is holding for them. If this game hit to 15 minutes mark, I think Team Venom might be able to make a comeback for now, but I don't think so. I would say Team DS is gonna give them this easily. I would say the momentum that they need. Team Venom, that momentum that they need right now.
I mean, definitely, and it's like the snowball which DS got. They're just pushing it forward. They do not want to give up on the lead they have. Look at the damage coming in from the original, and the Cyan Finch are laying in a very low HP. Gets stunned by Glass, will be taken down. Meanwhile, once again, it will be Chip on the chopping block, and Carry also down. Will this be the end? It's two versus five people right there. Tsunami Slam coming in, but it isn't enough. Kimmy trying to do something right there. Doesn't have enough
Look at
equipment. At the same time, they're just out equipped if you ask me. Just look at the Baksha right there. Okay, look at the fireman stun coming in, but it will not be enough as the heal from Florin just takes it all away. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we have the winners of this best of three as Dakusena just clean sweeps the entire thing.
Exactly, Team Venom. I mean, kind of. I would say they didn't execute their draft properly. To be honest, if you ask me, Chip. I mean, let's just ask
Mm.
Debbie. Debbie, if you are here, I mean, just gotta ask you from your opinion because I think Team Venom underperformed this game. To be, I mean, they could have actually made their draft work if they just waited patiently because they had that, I would say, mid to late game potential, but they just go for the Bakshas to fight. I mean, that's kind of, I would say, when you try to fight Bakshia with his tortoise persistence with him, that makes him much much more sustainable to damage, and you don't have instant burst as I would say as even as a mage or as maybe something else. So I mean, even if I would say, I mean, Venom, I mean, you could have just waited a little bit, to be honest. Waited a little bit longer, you might be able to pull this game because you had the carry, you had the Kimmy. Kimmy need at least one item to give over the damage. I mean, that starts to hit, and with the two or three items, she is going to be a very very good support. And Link, I mean, they just lost when this ship getting caught by uh, that Badang we can see. So Asuya, what do you have to say about that? Because I think you have your words to say for the side of Team Venom and DS.
Well, first of all, I would like to say that I think the chip pick was being futile. Maybe they were planning those plays, when Kalia uses up the slam, picks up the enemy, and the portal comes in and they throw him way too far behind. But then it was too hard to just do it right there. But then again, Debbie, I know you have something
Okay,
to say
okay,
to
okay.
us.
No, no, I mean, she will not say for now because I think um
Oh.
she will have to go. I mean, just enjoy her presence, guys, because she has a very beautiful face in the middle, along with the beautiful face on the left of her as well. Both of these two beautiful faces, just enjoy them for now because I'm gonna yap for a while. So yes, to be honest, they were focusing on the wrong lane. If you ask me, he just used his shortcut on the top lane to the Badang. I mean, why, bro? Just go for the shortcut in the bottom lane side. It will be very useful for you because Funny Valentine only had Purify. He didn't have the sprint. Purify gives you a slight purification of stuns and slows for a brief moment of time. You could have gone for the other instead. But instead, you fight with, Chip fought with Badang in the early game, didn't have the quite good positioning. If you have to make your draft work, you got to learn how to, I would say, got to make your draft work. I mean, you know what I'm saying, right? So I
And
will wait
yeah,
for you. Yeah, we will wait for just who is the MVP for this game. And also, yep, Asu, you were saying something.
One more thing which I just noticed is that Ling didn't have a proper support right from the early. And of course, I think like in the previous game, they just fast picked that Moscow, which I think shouldn't have. They shouldn't have done that. That even though Moscow was doing a great job, then they got countered pretty hard. And marksman is something, as well as the jungler, two of the roles which you do not want to be countered because they will be carrying the early and the late, which are very crucial for winning the game. At the same time, like they did pick that link pretty quite early into the game. They could have gone in for anything else except the link, could have chosen something else towards the late game. And yeah, they did not have enough sustain because Kimi does a lot of damage, but then again, who was there to protect her? Like Kalia, she, gave away two early kills in the beginning, which is a snowball you do not want to give away, especially when you have a link which is a hero who really needs a snowball instead.
Yeah, exactly. But I love the draft of the side of DS. I kind of underestimated the Bakshia in early, but I forgot that he is one hell of a force to reckon if he has, if you know how to play Bakshia, and also if you know how to use his S1 properly. You just gotta hit the enemies properly, and that's what this Bakshia did. And you know what, Florian, we are forgetting the giving forgetting to give credits to Florian. I mean, obviously, you can't win fights without Florian if you have the chip against you. So Florian, to counter that Florian, they didn't have the enough burst, and they have gone for the scaling heroes a lot. I would say Link scales, Kimmy scales, Carry scales, and Chip also I would need some defense to scales, I would say. And in EXP point of view, Kalea didn't quite be good, and also they gave away the Badang to the side of Team DS once again. And we just know, hi Jazz, by the way, I know that you are in the chat. So well played, brother. I mean, your team played well. Just Team DS absolutely played well in the second game. First game was close. Second game nowhere close. DS just dominated the side of Team Venom right there. But it was a very good match from both the sides. You don't have to be, I think they just started the tournament. I think Team Venom will have their, I would say, learning from from this game and will improve in this tournament. To be, if I am not wrong.
Well, yes, definitely. And with that, so I think this is the last game for today. But then again, I would like to ask you, who do you think would be the MVP? Because all of the members, especially from DS, they
Funny
like all
Valentine.
of them just do such good job in their own roles. The XP just setups are so good from Jazz. The Vakshi are doing such great job at jungling. The Roam, the Mage, putting up those setups, know whom to prioritize, whom to pick off. So yeah, the flanks, the accessibility, they were doing a great job, especially in this game.
Yeah, I guess. By the way,
And
DS is in the chat. By the way, so hello, hello DS. Tito is there. Daki, sorry, Daki is not in the but in the DS. But yeah, no, not in Tito as well. But the Jazz is there. The funny Valentine is there. You guys played well. By the way, shout out to all of you guys in the chat. Thank you for coming in. And you know, just I would say support the stream. The stream, like, share, subscribe the stream, and also join our community, the IGC. I mean, the just IGC community. You can see in the description. You can just join our follow us in the Instagram, join Discord, join our Facebook. It will be very very much appreciated. But now we are into the loading screen, sorry, not loading screen, but we are into the, I would say, scorecard scene. And now we can see that who is going to the MVP. It's going to be, obviously, it's a funny Valentine, but Haitatsu, I will give you my regards there. And also this Valentina, she just played I mean, who can forget that no use tsunami slam? I would say
yeah, that Uno reverse from
no use
Yamraj.
tsunami slam gameplay from that Yamraj. So wonderfully played by Team DS right there, and Team Venom. I think they got to learn from little bit from the draft because they have gone. I mean, I just said that they might could have worked their draft if they just waited, but you know what, Team DS just countered them very 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 good. And I also learned something new today.
What? That you shouldn't use Sky Piercer on Angela and Florin?
Yes. Anyways, guys, I think this was the last game for today in this Mythic Showdown, and it was the day 3, guys, and it's a wildcard stage, and it is powered by IGC. Also, don't before we go, I would like to say thank you to all of you guys for joining us, and it was a very very good game. But now I think we will go towards the end of. All right. All right. So Asuya, you gotta say something.
Um, they're like, if you this is a very vague question, Solsky, because there isn't a human unless you have taken what's that, sannyas or something. Then of course people have
Ah,
solutions. They always. You cannot have an
renun-
empty mind because an empty mind
renunciation.
is
You were saying,
a
you
devil's
have
workshop. And yes, people always have something to say. A devil mind. So
sannyas is basically you want me to renunciate. Sorry, renounce. Yeah.
yeah,
So
renounce the world, renounce your Angela and Florin with my piercing.
yeah, I guess. So, anyways, DS is in the chat, guys. You guys, really played well, and also, okay, now Momo has also joined. Momo is saying, "GG, that's a good sportsmanship right there, Momo." But the questions that you are asking me, what team Venom could have picked differently to win this game? This game if the DS draft would have remained the same.
Like I was saying, the Kalyas Valasar Kimi thing, that combo right there was pretty good. But then again, the rest of the draft, except those two, was pretty. I think they misdrafted right there, especially picking up a link so early into the game. Because, just like I mentioned before, the marksman and jungler are something which do not want to be countered pretty easily. But if you're showing it off, like Venom in the first game showed off the marksman, which they would be picking up, and if you did see, like there was the Moscow with the Trinity build, but then there was such a good equipments coming in, like the Rome as well as the EXP laner. Both of them, they just went in for that blade armor first, just to counter out that Moscow.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what you have spoken my mind. And I would say Venom could have gone for a little bit early draft to just to face against that Baxia. And if they just you gone for some, I would say a little, I would say rigid draft. The draft that could sustain a little while longer while their Kimi and carry comes online. Just maybe like a good HP, sorry, a good tanky jungler, or maybe some a good tanky jungler plus support combo instead of that pick off Kalia combo, because Pakalia and the Rome could have been good there and could have gone for some other EXP and not pick chip in the Rome could have been also a very good part there. But you know what, they might have learned from their mistakes. And also, I also learned quite a new things that you shouldn't buy Sky Pearson and Angela and Flori. So for that, I think with that, we will conclude for today, guys. Thank you for watching us in this Mythic Showdown Wildcard stage. It was day 3, guys, and it is powered by IGC, Indian Gaming Corps, one of the best, sorry, yeah, one of the best organization right out there. So thank you for joining in guys, this Solski along with Asuya. And by the way, guys, before we go, please take care of yourself, because why you guys should take care of yourself? Because you all are a very beautiful soul. Thank you for joining. This Solski along with Asuya will take our leave for today and see you guys tomorrow. Don't forget to join in and don't forget to like, share, subscribe the stream. Thank you.
ये तारा इनको बहुत ज्यादा दिक्कत देने वाला है। थोड़ा सा फिर से यहाँ पर लौट आएंगे, अंदर जाएंगे पॉप दिक्कत देने वाला है थोड़ा सा। फिर से यहाँ पर लौट आएंगे, अंदर जाएंगे, पॉपअप